1v1 tournament. Kind of started it way back in like 2016 or 17. And we're bringing it back. Thanksgiving 1v1 tournament. I am thankful for all of you. Thankful for our players and players' families. Thankful for Pocket Dust for being our observer. We got Egg and Toast in here with us too, with some tech help. Shout out to Pocket Dust's wife, daughter, and little expected home slice on the way. And yeah, just all of you guys. Hope you're having a wonderful and safe Thanksgiving holiday. I am Mrs. Sturman, aka Master Pants, joined here by my wonderful husband, Peter Sturman Wilson, aka Arya Deva. We got 1v1s. What's it looking like, Pete?
Oh, we're going to have a nice bracket coming in here. I think we're streaming that right now. So just to give a quick explanation of how this is all going to work, we have a winner's bracket and a redemption bracket. So if somebody is going to move on to the next match in the winner's bracket, they will be winning that 1v1 tournament. If they're going to be moving down to the redemption bracket, they will be moving from that lost position in that match. So we actually had one member that couldn't make it to their first match, so that's why we already see in the match between Hansifer and Logical. Logical is moving on to that one.
And we knew that going into it. We knew that Hansifer might not be able to make it, and that's okay.
Yep, no worries there. And so you can see that he actually slotted down into that L1 part of the redemption bracket. So a little bit complicated if you've never seen a bracket like this before, but we will walk you through it. The big thing to remember is those numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, etc. will be the order. Will be the order that the matches will be played in. So for the matches today, it's basically going to be just a little 1v1 in the middle lane of Summoner's Rift, where we're going to be having bans actually done in chat, because that's the only way to do it with blind pick before the match starts. And it's going to be the first one to get 2 kills, the first one to get 150 CS, or the first one to get the first turret in the game. So as we briefly saw there, we're going to have a random number generator, 1 or 2, to decide who gets blue side, who gets red side. And we will go from there. So I think we are currently... Well, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying we have to keep it as fair and fun as possible.
Absolutely. So I think we are, getting into our first match now. And might be a couple hiccups here as we figure out the format. The players are kind of learning as we are for what's going to go. So bans will be blue side, red side, blue side, red side, blue side, red side. And then we will get into the blind pick.
Earlier today to randomly pick the matches and the matchups. So we had all of our players in, and we did a blind show for that. So that was pretty fun. And they can choose whether or not they want to do mirror matchups for 1v1s, like the pros do in All-Stars, or if they want to just, go at it with their best chance. Again, all in good fun. The winner gets a skin of their choice. And so there's pride and skins on the line, but it is just for fun. We have current Cybercats and Cybercats from past years joining in this. So, do we have any favorites you guys think planning on coming in? Maybe someone who's used to 1v1ing, maybe does mid lane or top lane? Do they have a...
I would say that any solo laner is going to have a bit of an advantage, but you never know. And this is the kind of thing they talk about at All-Stars every year, is who does have a advantage in those matchups. And they normally talk about those mid laners, top laners, but we've had some surprises over the years in the All-Stars and even in our tournaments, right, where there's a pocket pick maybe that those junglers, supports, or ADCs play a lot, and they can really make it interesting for those laners that are not used to playing into those matchups. So we'll have to see how it goes.
The Hansifer Logical matchup didn't happen. That was probably the one I was most looking forward to, because they're really good friends and they were going to try to maybe do a mirror matchup. But these things happen, and maybe they'll meet in the finals. Who knows? All right, so we got some bans coming out here. Let's see. Maybe we will... Awesome. Maybe we will in the next ones just let them say all their bans, and if any match up, we'll, you know, do yeah, just for time's sake, because we do have a lot of games coming at you tonight. But the OSU football game was canceled, so if you're looking for that exciting competitive action, look no further than us for the next like 2 hours. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so the players are the ones that actually have to control this. Like we said, it's the first time going through with this, so it'll get a little smoother as we go through. We're just working out the kinks. It's a hard thing to set up since Riot doesn't have a dedicated 1v1 mode. We're just doing the best we can and having our wonderful observer, Eric Glassner, help us with the facilitation of this in the chat. So, and it looks like we are getting in here. We're going to see these first picks.
Whoa! Blind pick. We'll see what they do. We already have some of the bands that we know they favor towards, like Kindred and things like that, gone, but we'll see what happens.
Taking their time with these picks here. We'll see.
And we will let them do whatever summoners they want. They will be able to back and buy. So it's not, it's not done on Howling Abyss. We are on Summoner's Rift, so it is fair game to do that. Yeah. Looking forward to it. Do you have any predictions on what they may bring to the table?
I was sorting out some technical difficulties during the ban phase, so I didn't see exactly what got banned. I would guess that an Alawi ban came out and a Kindred ban came out, but maybe not.
Yeah, a Kindred definitely came out.
Yep. So, a Darius and a Zed. It looks like
Zed.
we're gonna get. So that'll be very interesting.
Oh my.
And man, these are going to be a lot of matchups that you don't normally see. So it's going to be full of surprises for all of us, I think.
And still, a relatively, the patch change is relatively recenty. So it'll be very interesting to see, these guys, especially if they're not used to 1v1s, and if they have to play different champion, and then they have different, itemization, it'll be really kind of fun to see how they do with this.
Absolutely. And we are going to have that spectator delay, just like we would in a normal game. So,
only 2:30 though, not 3 minutes. Is it always 2:30?
I think it's always 3 minutes. It might have just been some weird loading thing. Sometimes if it's a little bit behind in the joining lag time, it'll account for that in the timer, I think.
Nice.
So, all right, so when we're thinking about this Darius versus Zed matchup, we have to think that the Zed is going to have a little bit of an advantage in the way that he can poke down the Darius, because he does have that Q, he does have that shadow where he can kind of stay safely away from the Darius and try and juke him out with the damage to whittle him down before the all-in. But you have to remember that if the Darius gets in there close and the Zed doesn't have his shadow, he can really run him down, especially if he's going to be taking the Ghost. Now, this is a shorter lane than you would normally have the Darius in. He's used to that top lane. Nice long lane where he can run down the opponents. So a little bit of a disadvantage there again. But his E is really the big thing to watch, and specifically when the shadow from the Zed is down.
Nala is very excited about.
Yes, our cat's going to help a shot call.
possibility.
She's going to help us cast this game. She's going to meow, especially loudly at the big plays, I'm sure, if she's an experienced caster.
Yeah, she is. She is one of the best, if not the best. Yeah, I think just one of the most interesting things will be, how they adapt and what kind of win condition they maybe go for. If someone feels really solid on CSing, if someone's, once they get those first 2 bloods or goes for turret, it'll be really interesting to see.
Yeah, so those win conditions one more time. We're going to have the 150 CS. We're going to have first to 2 kills or first turret. So definitely a different kind of match to play around than you would think of in a normal League of Legends game, right? Like you're always focused on the Nexus in a normal game. In this game, you're really focused on how can I achieve my win condition. And what we often see in 1v1s is that win condition can easily morph from game to game. and from champion to champion and game state to game state, where you're really looking at, yes, I'm very poked down, but if I'm that Zed, am I sitting on a 20 CS lead? Can I afford to back here and let him get a little bit further ahead in CS, or is he going to get too much turret damage and too much CS back? Or if I'm at 130 CS and he's at 100, like, can I just hang out here and hope to achieve it that way? And even if I'm playing a little bit risky for that first blood, it's not going to matter because I can out CS him. So all those kind of dynamics can easily come in, and I have to see how it goes.
And it'll be really interesting, especially for our bot laners and our junglers, because they're more used to cooperating and keeping track of other people in lanes. So it'll be really interesting to see how when you can just take control of it, what it's like.
Absolutely.
And my stream has ended from what I'm seeing here. Are you able to see? Oh no. No, you are good. No worries. All right, we are in it. 2 in it. Let's see. We got some cool skins coming out here.
Ooh.
That's a really cool skin. What is that?
I think it's Galaxy Slayer. I'm not sure. I didn't see the loading screen as we were loading in, but I'm pretty sure it's Galaxy Slayer, and that's, I believe, God King Darius. So yeah, showing off their epic skin regalia for sure. So just kind of standing at the turrets right now, hanging out.
That could even be a reason, right, to like play a champ right now. You don't have to match anyone. You can just pick whatever champ you have the coolest skin for and represent.
That's true.
Or you can pick someone you think you can stop with. But
potentially more important than winning the game is winning the skin contest, I would say.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, absolutely. We should have like a separate bracket for that. So yeah, see, pretty, both of them taking starting items and a potion. That use of that first potion will be very important.
We do want to comment real quick here. He did go Doran Shield on
I know,
Darius,
I was wondering.
So he's anticipating that poke that we were talking about when they were loading in. Very smart from him.
And they are allowed to emote, we told them. Obviously, we wanted very clean games, but we want them to have fun, so they're allowed to emote.
Yep, they know each other. It's all in good fun.
Yep. And now we just see who CS is better. It looks like they're doing a little gentleman's agreement right now.
On this first wave, always contesting those last hits. Oh, a couple missed there on the side from Zed, but only an auto poke back and the slight bleed from the Darius. So Q coming out from Zed to try and help him push those minions down to match the push. And
level 2 there.
Yep, we aren't going to have the level 2 coming in quite yet. We do have it now first from the Zed. Q's miss along with the W, so his cooldowns are going to be down for a bit. Maybe moving in here from Darius to counter. Just dancing back and forth right now, saying that we don't see the window. We are just going to safely CS our way to our win condition.
Yeah, and they have the bad luck or the good luck of being the first match played, so the other people can be scouting it out right now and kind of seeing, but these guys are just in it. So it makes sense that they're playing a little bit more, I don't want to say passively, but safely maybe. There's some CS still going down on either side, looking for the hitting stands, trying to make sure to get those cannons. It's a little pixelated on my end, so it's a little hard to see. There we go. It's getting a little, yeah, that's getting better. A little less pixelated there. Yeah,
and just so you guys all know, on the streaming end, it might be coming through cleanly for you. We're streaming it in a different way and seeing it in a different way. So if we ever say something like that, you should be good on your end. We're just doing the best we can to see it with the circumstances we have. So. And some really good poke coming down there.
It's a lot of damage. They know not to go. They're allowed to go in the brush on the river, but not past that. So if you're like, why don't they do this, do that? Those are kind of the rules that get set forth.
Yep, we're basically trying to make it one lane, so we have those borders there to make it as much like the 1v1s that they would have with the official Riot as possible. Another
we're basically almost there.
We're basically Riot. I think that's really the takeaway right here, I think. So coming out with the continued poke, we can see the whittling down is taking hold, but not maybe sticking enough to be in kill threat range. I think it's going to be that level 6 area when we're starting to see that, but you can see the setup, right? Zed's already thinking, okay, when I get to that level 6 point, I want to whittle him down enough where he can't step up, and then I have the wave controlled.
Yeah, if you control the wave state and you can make sure that you get to that level 6 first, you have a huge advantage on your opponent.
Absolutely.
And then, you know, they die, you can back and buy, come back stronger with more money with that first blood, and that's just, you know, huge propellant into getting second blood and winning that way. And we'll see if Darius is actually going to back or not.
We do see DS advantage actually on the side of the Darius, and more minions coming into him, so doing very well with these last hits. I know
nice.
Kaboflu. I'm not sure exactly how you would pronounce that one, but he is a jungle main, so great to see him doing well with the CS as well. And we saw him thinking about backing there, and now it's actually going to be Zed that takes the first back after shoving in that wave, trying to get maybe that first item by advantage when that level 6 comes in.
And then he'll match that back.
Yep, we have the match back coming out from the Darius. We'll see what he decides to build towards. We have Zed building towards that lethality, I'm sure. The 2 longswords building into the serrated dirk eventually. And we did also see him pick up an extra potion. Sustain is something that you cannot underestimate in the 1v1. And we have
sometimes those little tick of health can make all the difference in a kill.
All the tick of the tick of health itself, but also like the total sustain of it. You're really adding a massive amount to your health bar when you're taking that potion. So very gold efficient in the 1v1, and that's something we actually often see from the pros in the All-Star event. So we do see the Darius also coming out with the sheen and the cloth armor. So knowing that he's in that all-in threat from the Zed, getting the little bit of defensive stat as well as the sheen for the extra damage on his Spellblade procs. So we can see that with that cloth armor, that poke from Zed actually did significantly less damage. And just dancing back and forth a little bit here.
Trying to get the wave state in the most advantageous position for each of them. You'll see probably a lot of trading stance and things like that throughout this tournament. Ooh, a little bit of damage there. And so for those who don't know, it's, you know, you have to keep an eye on your opponent, and then there's an auto attack that you can work with when they're trying to go and finish off the minion, and you can get instant poke when they do that or deny them the minion. And so that's called trading stance. And in this 1v1, that'll be pretty essential to winning.
It's one of those laning fundamentals that just gets hammered in even more in a 1v1 scenario like this, right? Like in lane, it can snowball into big advantages, but in the 1v1 where there's no jungler to come and help you, there's no one to help you reset the wave, you can really see how much of a difference that can make. And it really is part of the matchup here, right? We talked about that poke from the Zed, and you can see how hard it is for this Darius to walk up. He is in that threat range now where if the Zed gets a good all-in combo with the Ignite especially, he can just kill him.
There's no support to come and save you, right, Peter?
Yeah, no support roaming from the bottom lane to the mid lane saying, oh, there's some more poke coming out.
Yeah, I mean, he really has, but if you can see that, gotta pull on in there. We'll see, maybe going for an all-in here. Right, there'll be a close one. The all-in, I think gets it with the Ignite there down, I think is what that was. Getting that down, getting the ace. Oh, and it's so...
Here's the replay coming in. So as we look at this, we actually see that the Darius gets his ult off, gets him low enough, but it's the Ignite and the Bleed that kill the Zed, and just the Ignite that burns down the Darius. So such a great play from both sides to get that first trade off. Now we have to mention, again, with that beautiful replay, like, you see how evenly matched they are, right? You can see that they both knew what they wanted to do. They both executed, both flashing away from each other at the same time.
It was actually perfect. Really nice. This is actually a really good first one. I think they're doing a nice job. You know, it's not a steamroll. Like, that is nice. First blood, of course, going over, they give you extra gold, but both of them at now 1 kill.
Exactly, and if we could see what items they got back at the shop, I'm sure that they both got a pretty decent power spike from that. And a little bit hard for you to make
was
it
a
out.
bear. Fuzzy was deep.
Looks like it looks like a phage coming out from the Darius, yep, and then a serrated dirk and 2 more long swords coming out from the Zed. We have some more trading already.
Yes, we do, and potions popped on both sides. CS very even right now in the mid-50s. You know, still about 100 off of where we would be for that win condition. I think both of them are going for the 2 kill as a win condition. If it takes enough CS to get there, then that's fine. But you know, not too much damage done on turrets at this point. I think that would be a very hard one to get.
In general, the only time you're going to see that turret win condition is if you're really going for it with the champion. With the plating now activated until the 14-minute mark, and with the armor increasing after each plate goes down, and with the extra shield that turrets get in the middle lane at the beginning of the game, it's actually quite hard to take down that turret this early on.
You can get those turret plates, which is what Zed's doing right now, and that does give you a good amount of gold, that if he wants to match the back, he'll have a little extra bling in his pocket. So, we'll just, yeah, we'll see. But can we get the CS numbers one more time? Cool.
And pretty even right now, it looks like, but that Darius does have the extra back off, and looks like we got a couple extra cloth armors coming out from the Darius, so he's really saying, I can just outlast you, maybe I can catch you again off guard, and it won't be so even the next time.
Popping the potion now, kind of planning for that. To be like, okay, I have this, if I can get that last little bit, you know, survive that extra tick, then the game goes to him.
Yep, he's really just looking for the pull again, right? That's what we saw the first all-in come from. He hit the E, and then they knew that they had to go in on each other, so Darius just hanging out looking for that opportunity. Yep, and Zed thinking, well, he's got the items, I need to get mine, even if I lose a couple minions. Maybe actually staying there. He doesn't want to let that get pushed in and potentially lose some plates.
I know, it's so tough. You see these big juicy minions, and you don't want to give up your plates.
So the best time to back is actually on a cannon wave for those that aren't aware of the lane mechanics. So if you back on the cannon wave as it's coming in, you actually want to shove the wave very quickly right before the cannon wave. And then when the cannon wave gets the lane, like this one is here, so good back timing, you basically have the enemy taking longer to clear that cannon, and then when your cannon gets to the tower that you want to kill, it takes longer for your tower to kill it. And it also might have just been the gold that he was waiting for. He actually has his mythic item. So we have the Eclipse coming out from the Zed. If the Darius doesn't notice that and he goes for the fight before he gets hit back, it's going to be a huge advantage over to the Zed.
Yeah, and now he got a couple turret plates. We'll see if he kind of backs off and tries to match it. But yeah, that would be a huge discrepancy.
And when the turret win condition opens up is after that 14-minute mark. So after the 14-minute mark, the turrets lose all of their armor that they gained during that plating. So the champions already have significantly more items at that point, and that's when we can really see them shred those turrets on a bad back timing or whatever else. Nice use of the shadow to get in there quicker on the turret, get an extra plate for himself. And see what the Darius got, if he did have enough for, I'm guessing he was going for the, no he didn't. So because he went for the boots, he actually did not have enough to finish his mythic. So might be a little bit of a power discrepancy there. The Ninja Tabby's good for those auto attack based champions, and the armor also helps with the Zed, but a lot of Zed's damage doesn't come from the auto attack, so I would still give the power to the Zed in this current matchup if they're going for kill. And the other big thing we want to watch out for is the first champion to hit the level 11. That'll give them their level 2 ultimate ability. We see that the Zed already has a level lead, and that he's probably going to be the first one to reach that level 11. And he just needs to focus again on either the CS or landing that poke down, because we are approaching that 14-minute mark. So at this point, backing can get really dangerous if it's on a bad timing, but we have a hook.
Damn it, let's see, is that and flashing it on the turret, and he pulls it out, gets the second kill, and he's like, look at me, I'm not big. He's like, I got so much health, you know, I could, you know, fund a hospital with my health. I don't know, that was a bad, I don't know. Anyway, congratulations, Darius is our winner on that. We will add it into the bracket. You will see both of these players back, alright? for redemption and for glory and for Hilliard Esports. Here we go. Game 1 done.
Let's go.
Let's go, let's go!
All right. So going to send out the invites to the next people and get us into this next match.
Now, are we continuing the stream and just doing it continuous?
Yeah, we're going to continue through the stream the whole time. We're going to try and have it be as smooth as possible. It looks like Daddy Disney and the Gort 4 already know it's their time. They're already hopping into the other channel to get ready.
Look at that.
Yep.
Hey, how about maybe we while we get the next match done, we pull in the winner and just ask them a quick question or something? Would that be a good idea? So our viewers
maybe it might be difficult because of the dynamics of it. Like we can try it and see how it goes. Like if they're available, then we can do it, and if not, then we won't. And you want to pull them in now? You want to see how it goes?
Yeah, let's go for it. Hey,
all right, so we are surprised. We are surprised pulling in the winner of that first match for a winner's interview on stream here. So he doesn't know that this was happening. We just kind of pulled him into the channel. So
great job, nicely done.
Yeah, do you have any commentary about that match? Do you want to talk about what you were thinking with that matchup?
Build armor so he doesn't one-shot me, and then when his W is on cooldown, all in him, and with Ignite and my ult up.
Yeah, I think that first kill was really exciting between the two of you, the way that it went down, where you both flashed away from each other and then ended up dying after.
Yeah, I had to tick off on both of you.
I also brought Press the Attack because I feel like Conquer wasn't in a proc in time, so.
Yeah, definitely good for those shorter trades.
Quick E, auto attack W, auto attack.
Well, fantastic job. Yeah, it was an exciting game to watch. We were saying that we're glad that the first one was a well-fought battle from both sides. So congratulations on moving up to that next bracket, and you'll be awaiting the winner of this next match coming up.
Thank you. I'm gonna go get some more Mountain Dew.
All right, man.
This is not brought to you or sponsored by Mountain Dew, though that does seem to be a favorite of gamers. We're not affiliated with it, but you know, I've brought many a 2-liter Mountain Dew to a League of Legends meeting, and it has disappeared faster than. Trying to think of a League joke. Faster than. I don't know.
Faster than an ADC disappears to a Katarina ultimate.
That's true. There you go. That's true. All right. Well, we are hopping into this next matchup, and this will be a fun one. Got really great peeps representing this, holding it out. Of course, there is a bit of an experience discrepancy. Daddy Disney has been on the Rift a bit longer than the Gort Fort, but the Gort Fort actually being a professional commentator at his college is pretty cool. Coming into the esports world a little bit later than some, but hopping in there and doing great stuff. So we're glad to have him. Both Derby Choir alums, so love that too. And let's see, what bands were
we had Akali, Garen, Azir, Volley, Yasuo, and Malphite were the bands that came out. So it looks like we're gonna have the Yone versus the Ahri. Very interesting. Okay. So Yone, one of those champions that is newer on the Riot Games list, and as we have mentioned in previous streams, the newer champions have little paragraphs as their abilities instead of one-line abilities. So Yone, one of those champions that can really utilize his kit very well. Now just waiting on the spectator delay. But the Ahri is someone that is going to have that range advantage, right? So if she can kite out properly, if she can play around the Yone's mobility and his ability to get in on them, it's going to be a very interesting matchup to watch. So looking forward to seeing also the rune choices. We did hear our previous winner of that first match, Cabot Flu. He was talking about how important that rune choice was to his strategy. So I think that is one of the other very interesting things to see, not only the build adaptations, the strategy adaptations in game, but also what they're doing to set themselves up for success.
And again, with the changes in with this season, with the competitive season, like the ranked season ending, and then the big changes in the patch. You know, it is a lot newer, and I know I haven't played as much recently since that, so I feel a little uh undereducated. So yeah, you know, keep doling out the knowledge there, Peter, because it's definitely helpful. I know for myself and probably for our viewers, and definitely something that some of these guys are really taking into account if they've had the time and been able to check it out. So, I mean, I don't know if anyone's been studying up, you know, preparing for this 1v1. I know that the pros do. Sometimes they take it pretty chill, and sometimes they go really hard on it. But I don't know if our people have. We'll have to maybe scout that after and see who's been looking up good 1v1s. If you were gonna do a 1v1, Peter, what champ would you pick?
Working on some technical stuff here, so hold on one second.
Oh, yep. Oh, gonna throw a shout out to my mother-in-law and Peter's mom out in California, who is watching and tuning in right now. So that's exciting. You know, we got people viewing this from all around the country. Technology is crazy, especially in, you know, these times where we need to be safe and be apart in some ways. The internet can bring us together. It's just our responsibility to use it responsibly, and it can do some pretty great things. So, hi Debbie, good to have you joining us in here. And again, if you want to get a shout out from us, just let us know. You can email us. I think our email is esports@hboe.org. I will check that and let you guys know. You can let us know. You can message us in our YouTube channel or on our Twitch or on our Twitter, and we'll give you a shout out and appreciate your support. Right.
Absolutely, yep. Coming to us live from the state of Riot Games itself, or I guess watching to us live rather. So we are now loading into the game, I believe. So looks like we have the Conqueror coming out from the Yone, and we have the Electrocute coming out from the Ari. Pretty standard stuff there. They ignite on both sides. Again, both of them saying like, we could go for that teleport. We could try and get back to lane a little bit more safely, a little bit more timely. But you know, we want that first blood. We want that second blood. That's really what we're going for. And I think that's going to be a common theme from the matches today. It's one of the more exciting ways to win these matches, and I know the kids like going for that. So
with it being mid lane and it being a shorter lane, you know, it's not like that long walk bot lane. So you know you can still get there, and if you have Ignite up your sleeve, it's a nice card to have.
And we see the skins coming out here as well.
They
the
match.
Spirit
That's
Blossom
very
Yone
nice.
and the Dynasty Ari. There is a Spirit Blossom Ari, so
Oh, they don't match perfectly, but that's
yeah,
okay.
it's not the complete match, but it is like still a theme match, I would say. You know,
Yeah,
like
which is almost better. You don't want to be too matchy with who you got to
That's
take
true.
down.
That's true. Especially, yeah, exactly. They're your opponent. You don't want to just get in there with that deep synergy. So you're like, wait, can I kill another Spirit Blossom character? I don't know. Maybe I should just let them win. So
Opponent or a Yone? That was terrible. I'll even admit that was
it
terrible.
it was. I've I've heard better. I've heard worse. We'll just go with that.
I actually don't think I've seen the Dynasty RA skin.
Yeah, it's one
She
of the
has
less
so many.
one of the less common ones. She does have a lot of skins. She's one of the champions that gets quite a few from Riot Games. So looks like we have the Resolve tree secondary from the Yone as well, trying to work his way through some of that poke. He probably took bone plating to try and reduce that a bit. And from the sorcery, I'm guessing we have like maybe a Scorch and a Mana Flow band, keeping her mana a little bit higher and getting the poke to be a little bit stronger. So Conquer is one of the runes that got changed significantly in that patch, so it has much less healing than it used to. and Electrocute pretty much the same, but in that tree, Ravenous Hunter also got changed significantly to actually give more sustain. So those are the types of things that can tilt a matchup like this. But on the other end, when we're talking about the difference for this patch, we do have to think about how much heavier people will spike on one item. Those mythic items that you're going for first are very, very strong. We saw that in the last match with the Eclipse being completed first on the Zed side. Whoever gets that first, you really need to respect it until you complete your own mythic.
Though that being said, the Darius knew that and, was kind of planning that in, but also planning within his kit and within,
Exactly.
what runes he took and things like that too. So it's not, a guarantee or a nail in the coffin, but it's definitely something that you have to be aware of.
Yep, and armor does directly counter the lethality from that item, so smart on his part to go for that. We are loading in.
Here we go. Again, some pixelated action, so pardon in advance for any kind of delays or confusion. Okay, we already got the emails coming out. Like it. Good stuff. Good stuff. He knows we can see him.
Yep. He knows that the Gort Fort cannot see him, but he knows that we can, so he's playing to his audience a little bit. All right, and just again hanging out behind the turrets, getting ready, preparing themselves for this
mental game. Yep. Now, in a 1v1, is there any benefit to blue side, red side, since we're not really doing too much with the order of bans?
Not a lot. So the one thing that I do hear some players talk about is the UI. So if you're on the red side, your UI actually takes up space for the area you're trying to battle in. I know some of our players still use the locked camera mode. So when you're locked on your character like that, it can take up a decent amount of the bottom of your screen, especially if you are using a scaled up UI. So that is something that can interfere with your vision a little bit and your area that you are battling in a little bit if you're not used to navigating around that. But other than that, not a huge deal. The wall placement is a little bit different. They're still not going to be going over to those walls too much, but you can see the thicker and the thinner walls are reversed respectively for each side. Other than that, really no difference.
We're already getting a little action in there, just a little bit. You're like, hey now, pick a winner. I feel like it's like the tense moments, like in the movies right before a battle where you can hear the army coming. That's like this first little part of the wave, and then you see them, and then already going level 2 there. Yeah. And if we want to pull up the CS, there, Pocket Jack. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so that's one of those tricky things that Yone can do, even though he's not a very long-range character in general. He does have a lot of mobility, so his ability to navigate that ranged matchup can be quite good. I think we actually just saw the charm maybe come out on a minion, so a little bit less pressure there, but the Q lands for a little bit of poke. Again, coming in with that Q, just poking down with Yone over and over again after he charges that up.
And it just gets into the mental, because he just comes at you so quickly and then leaves. And, oh, okay, nice, it's clearing up a little bit. I can see clearly now the pixelation. Alright. And... you can start that a little bit. Yep, just a little bit of start shot, that's okay. Oh, a little fast boy, okay.
You can see how meaningful those turret shots are in the 1v1 though.
Absolutely.
He had worked hard for that poke, and now the HP is pretty much even again, so definitely looking at exactly where that range is can be very important, and a little bit of extra
from both.
coming down. Yeah.
Yep. Right, Anya Gort Fort, a newer addition to our League fam. Good for you, man. I am unbiased. I want everyone to win, but I also know how it feels when you're newer to a game and you're playing against someone who's been doing it longer. It can be intimidating. So, nice job with some of these dodges.
Oh man, and more poke coming down here. We can see that the RE is running out of mana, so that's something to keep an eye the health pool is not the only resource we want to look at, but certainly getting some good poke. Now, maybe needing to move into a little bit more auto attack harass to conserve that mana pool, or just be hitting the minions at the same time that he's hitting the champion.
And what worries me is that he just got the potion, so he's, you know, I mean, they're level 4, heading into 5. I'm wondering if once he hits 6, he's gonna plan an all-in to try to take advantage of that if he gets there first. Or maybe now, let's see, he's landing a lot of poke backing out. I mean, that's a huge difference in health, and like you said, she's very low in mana.
And the charm did miss there.
Yep.
The charm did miss there, which was the big thing, right? So they changed Ahri's kit quite a while ago to be more dependent on her hitting the charm. So they basically gave her more damage when she hits the charm versus just hitting her other abilities. So pretty big deal there to not be able to land that one. You can see how much it matters on the poke back, right? Yone was able to land his combo, and now with the low mana and with the lower health pool, there's going to have to be a time to reset, and that's going to lead to either a minion advantage, a turret advantage, or if he stays too long, then maybe just the first blood.
Yep, and that's I think what Yone has decided on. Daddy Disney, I think he's looking for that first blood. Though he also may be going for CS, feeling confident in his CSing skills. He might be choosing that as a win lane, but I know that a lot of people like the feel of getting the 2 kills and winning that way. So we'll see. Daddy Disney backing now. We'll see if Court Fort's gonna push this in and then back to match.
And we do have the boots, the longsword, and the early crit coming out from the Yone. So Yone is a champion for whom, just like Yasuo, he actually gets double the crit whenever he buys crit. So it's oftentimes one of the first things that you will go for on him. We'll see what the Ahri decides to buy here as she's thinking.
They also should make a basketball Ahri to play with Darius, and her little ball thing could be a basket.
That's true. I mean, there are all
kinds of... And then they could make an Orianna one too. We could just have a whole basketball team. Sorry, I'm watching a basketball anime, so, you know.
I mean, there are all kinds of sports balls that you could have Ahri play with, you know? Just like it could be a baseball Ahri where she pitches it, and then
that's a very, very big baseball ball.
It's true, but I mean, if you're pitching a magical baseball, maybe a magical baseballs are bigger. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Alright, we're back in the action.
Yep, and we did have the blasting wand and the boots come out from the Ahri, so she's just going for that strict AP. Not going to have a lot of mana sustain, though. That might be something she runs into by not going into that lost chapter first. The blasting wand sets her back quite a ways on that, so we'll see if that ends up playing out in a lowered mana sustain and how she's going to play around that. So Yone just dancing back and forth, saying like, "Hey, come at me, Ahri." And it is the type of thing where now that Yone is crossing that higher level marquee, I believe just hit 7. It's kind of hard to see on the stream right now, but yeah, he is going to go for the poke here, not going to fight all in, I don't think. Oh, we do hit the charm though.
Lands, that's a nice amount of damage there.
Yep, and we can see how important that is for the trade back again, where now it's a much more even trade. And Ahri does have sustain built into her kit. You can see her orb is green right now, so when she hits that on an enemy, that will sustain. And we do have the, as we just had highlighted by the observers, the ignites out for these champions. So when they come in for those all-ins, you have to account for that extra ignite damage. Neither of those have been used yet, so that'll be a big deal when either one hits the CC that they think can go for the kill. Nice try for the counter charm after he went in. Some poke down, did get the electrocute proc. And here it goes.
Yep, here we go. He's going for the all-in. Getting... Oh, it's so close. Okay, he gets it with the tick. And he still lives. So after this, yep, he's going to back, spend up his gold, and try to rinse and repeat. That was nicely done. We're getting...
Alright, and seeing the replay here, we can see the Q into the ult and just easily able to use the snapback from his E to get out of the turret range for the second shot. He knew he could take the one turret shot. Very well executed from Daddy Disney. And
also, letting it be known that the ace emote, you can set it to always come up when there's an ace, so he didn't necessarily just drop the emote as soon as it happened. Sometimes it just automatically happens. But that was nicely done as they come back in here, looking for that second blood. on the Yone side.
All right, and we do now have the boots and a double longsword on the side of the Yone, and only another amp tome coming out from the Ari, and even a refillable potion for the Yone. So you can see how much that matters when he did get that advantage. And the Lost Chapter complete is not cheap, so it's going to be hard for Ari to kind of catch back up here after that gold. And that's the thing we were talking about, right? Where the snowball in 1v1 can be pretty intense. In the first match, we saw the trade back, so there wasn't as much of a disparity, but now you're kind of thinking, how can I come back into this? Now that there is a gold disparity, what can my win condition change to? We see the CS lead also in Yone's favor, so it might be, you know, shifting to focusing completely on CS, using trading stance to start him from that, using the range advantage to keep him at bay, or even just trying to push him for the tower, because it's going to be hard to get that straight up kill in the 1v1.
And sometimes it's not just about, ooh, nice charm, nice charm. They're good for you. Oh, he flashes in, he goes in, nice one. Good job, man.
And right as we say it, he proves us wrong. That was beautiful.
Yes.
So look at the way he sneaks in this charm here and knows this is my opportunity. This is my window back in. Beautiful, right by the minion.
Oh my gosh.
Uses his W instantly, ults in, and just shows that he is not about to go quietly into the night. Beautiful job from the Gort Fort.
Oh, nice job, guys. Thanks for getting another replay and the flashes and the ace and the okay. I like it. I like it. Awesome. And I was gonna say, so what I was just saying is that in these situations, you can't just count on doing everything perfectly and that being enough to win. So, you know, there's, like we've talked about, a lot of different variables between the matchup and the itemization and this and that. Sometimes you also have to capitalize your opponent's mistakes. So maybe because he missed some charms, maybe, you know, Daddy Disney thought, oh, he may not get this. I mean, and he walked out of the cover of his minions, and Gorford just took advantage of it and landed that charm, and that led into that. Now, Yone coming back saying, okay, don't get too excited there, and taking away 2/3 of his health.
Taking away 2/3 of his health, but that was a lot of resources. He did just spend his ultimate there, and Ari does have the Lost Chapter now, so she does have that mana sustain that we were talking about earlier. So he has to make a decision now. I'm on a cannon wave. Do I recall here and try and use my ult advantage with the full health pool? Or do I just stay and think I can sustain up since he doesn't have that advantage from his ultimate? So we'll see what he decides.
If you have the Lost Chapter, is it then found?
Maybe it gets found when you complete the item, because then the Lost Chapter goes away. But I've never understood how a book transforms into a magical staff. That's just me personally, but...
I don't know. It's maybe kind of like one of those Magic baseball things where it's
true. It doesn't...
We don't know. Don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
And a fair amount of regen coming back on Ari's side.
Yeah, that is the sustain that's built into her kit, but we do have
enough. Will it be enough? Flashing away, Yone looking for that damage. Oh, it is so close. Will take down? She lives by the skin of her tail feathers.
But again, another cooldown. We have the Ignite out from him, and the Ignite still yet to come up on the Ari, so... or that might be a spectator bug, I'm not sure. Showing up on one place and down on another, so I'm not sure if the Ari has the Yone, I believe, is ahead by a good number of CS still, and he has a good reset off here, but...
So, so, you know, now he's approaching that 100 CS mark. I mean, like we said, we know that a lot of them want to go for the 2 kills, but, you know, if it keeps going how it is, he probably can get that 150 CS mark and win, as long as he doesn't get all in by the Ari and die. So it's up to him now at this point too. Like, does he keep doing that, and then he needs to make sure that he does enough damage to actually kill her and not then be left with all cooldowns and she kills him, or does he, you know, play it safe and CS it out?
And important to note here that we did have the Vamp Scepter come out from the Yone, so now he's going to have a lot more sustain in that lane. And I know that the Gort Fort has not played on as much on these new items. He did go for the Null Magic Mantle, so that is probably for Merc Treads. I'm not sure if that's going to be the best choice into him here. Probably the Ninja Tabby's more efficient, but we might have another all-in. He does have ultimate.
Going into the all-in, the ultimate is back up. It's a fair amount of damage, but she can ult away.
And that is her ultimate down, though. That's a big deal because he was able to burn it now.
He's very low. He's gonna go in for it now. The turn lands him!
Oh!
Oh my gosh, that was so close. Oh my gosh, that was awesome. Talk about an upset. I mean, Daddy Disney still won. He killed the Ari first, but hats off to the Gort for getting that. I mean, way to go there. You know, he almost took down the flat mid laner. But the win does go to Daddy Disney, and that was well played. He just had to commit there, and he was committing under the turret. I mean, that was a lot, but that was awesome. Well played to both guys. Way to go. All right, we'll try to pull them in, and we'll try to keep it going because this is gonna be a long night of 1v1s, y'all. And grab some popcorn, grab some hot cocoa or some apple cider or Mountain Dew, whatever, and we'll keep moving on here. We will pull in Daddy Disney while Peter gets the other guys set up if they're not already. All right, Daddy Disney, did you expect that? Matt, no?
God, no, that was nerve-wracking. I'm like, I'm gonna tower dive, and I'm like, wait, I'm actually just chilling under the tower.
But you did pull it off, so congrats on your win. It was nicely done. You know, we will definitely say big congrats to Gort for it. For putting that pressure on you as your plat mid laner, and you were feeling it, but you did secure that. So what were you going for? I mean, you probably knew you could probably get the 100 or 150 CS and win in that way, but you wanted to get the 2 kills. That's what you were going for.
Yeah, because I'm like, 150 CS is boring. Let's spicing it up. So we went for the 2 kills.
Well, I worked out for you. I am. Was there anything in particular that you tried to take into account with itemization or with your rune choices, or even just with the Yone choice? Did you expect the Ari?
I knew he played Ari, but I wasn't expecting him to play in that matchup. I was planning for him to play like Nico or something, because if I dash in, he just roots me. So I'm like, okay, I can prep for it. And then I saw Ari, I'm like, oh, this is dangerous.
Yeah.
So
yeah. If you want to click that spectate button, Eric, if that's what you're looking for. Trying to get the next match figured out. But yeah, no, but that was very, very nicely done, Daddy Disney, and you will be playing again on here. But Gorfar will too. You know, he's going into that redemption bracket, so who knows? Maybe we'll have a rematch if he just, or maybe someone will ban Ari. I don't know. Are you gonna? Well, I guess I won't ask your strat if you're gonna take Yone into the next one or not. I'll let you scout out and this that. But yeah, that was. Yeah, but that was nicely done, and we'll let you get back as we get into this next one. Yeah, and we'll see you later on.
Gotcha. See ya.
All right, bye. All right, so now we have an actual bird versus logical, and actually it is logical with 2 L's. It's not illogical with an I. It has confused many a person whether or not it's logical or illogical. We don't know. But
I do think that is definitely part of the reason he did it, to be tricksy with his spelling and capitalization there.
He said at one point, he's like, yeah, I don't know why I did that. But maybe he did. I don't know. But I gotta love it.
Whatever it was, it was certainly an logical decision.
Okay.
And we have the bands coming out here. We have the Pantheon and the Jax targeted at illogical, and the Swain and the Brand targeted at an actual bird. So an actual bird is a support main. So the Swain and the Brand, definitely those carry support champions that he plays, and the Teemo coming out from an actual bird as the ban,
which is fair.
One of the most annoying champions in the game that, let's be real, nobody wants to play against a Teemo.
I mean, maybe actually, no. I think that Singed, I think, is the most annoying champ for me. I mean, Blitz is just evil, but I think Singed is the most annoying, followed by Teemo. So let's see. sorry, again, figuring out a couple things here for you guys. Just hang tight.
I believe we're going to try and get one of our current team members on the Cybercats to help us cast a match or two throughout this. So you'll be hearing from him later on. Just trying to coordinate that.
Yeah, and we are going to try to keep building our casting program, and that's just a really fun thing that we like to do and want to grow in our esports community in Hilliard. So, not just for League, but definitely don't mind taking the lead with League. That was a really bad LEA joke, but yeah. So we'll get Xander here in for that in a little bit. And right now we are locked in, and we got the zero. Nope. Okay, we got the Nivea definitely locked in for actual bird, and that's an actual bird, which I know he is not putting past that fact that he did that. So well done.
He actually
bird.
does play Anivia in the mid lane whenever I see him go mid. So I don't know if it's just a wholehearted time committed meme, but that is the champion.
He definitely doesn't. I mean, it's definitely a great thing anyway, you know.
Exactly.
And he likes to play Swain, and Swain has actual.
I think when I've heard him talk about it before, his logic hasn't been bird related. It's actually just been the fact that he hates CSing, which is why he initially became a support main. And
I respect that. I so get that.
Anivia basically just presses R and the wave disappears. So one of the champions where if you don't want to worry about CS, you just have to make it to level 6, you press a button and clear the wave. So that is worth noting, though, that if you're going for a CS victory, a champion like that can be what you go for.
All right, and Nico will be against him. Also, to let you guys at home know, our players are, if they want to, they are in a Discord channel with each other, you know, kind of friendly bantering or just talking or whatnot. So that's kind of fun. They don't have to, but they, you know, if they want to opt into that, they can do that. So again, trying to build camaraderie and friendship with Hilliard students, past and present. And let's see, actual an Anivia versus a Nico.
Yeah, very interesting here. So the Nico, her most dangerous thing that she can do is her E ability, which can go through minions and actually gains distance and root time when it goes through a target. So something that the Anivia is definitely going to want to play around because she is quite immobile. The Nico can also be pretty tricky and disappear with her W ability and then get some powered auto attacks and a little bit of a speed boost after that. So she might be able to kind of sneak in or sneak out before or after her E comes out. And it probably is going to be something that you're going to have to use the wall very wisely on with Anivia, right? So her big way of keeping Nico away or trapping Nico is her W, which makes a big ice wall. And she can try and play around that slight mobility from the Nico play around the root and lock her into position where she can then get the stun off for the big damage.
And then do you guess on what runes they took?
I'm not sure. So if the Nico does want to be going for that all-in pressure, she can go something like the Electrocute, like we've seen from a lot of other champions in the 1v1. It just gives you the nice burst on the short combos you're doing. And she is definitely a combo mid laner. After she hits that E, her Q gets repeated procs as it hits a champion that's locked up like that. So that would be my guess for a logical. I'm not sure what an actual bird is going to be going. It probably depends on what he's actually going for as his win condition. Is he thinking, hey, I just need to outpush this guy, I need to make it to where the CS is my win condition, or am I actually trying to go for the kill here? Likely with the mages, you're not going to often see the tower win condition because it's just not going to be easy for them to take it down that early on in the game. But we shall see what happens. Loading in soon here after the spectator delay loads in.
Alright. And Emo's coming out! I think Anivia is a really cool champ. She has some cool skins too. I guess it's a she lays eggs, so if she becomes
And
one.
you see the barrier versus the ignite, but both sides have the electrocute, so both definitely going for that burst damage, but we can see that a little bit more of a defensive tactic coming out from an actual bird versus a logical going for that ignite, trying to go for that kill. Now, worth noting in the 1v1 kill matchup, the passive for Anivia can be quite good, denying that ability to get the
egg.
yeah, get the basically the ability to have a second life. So for those that don't know,
Ooh, Zillion would be good too.
yeah, he's another one that if you want to challenge in that same way, be a little bit more defensive, it can be hard to get the kill off. So basically, we have it being covered right now. She on taking fatal damage will basically turn into an egg that has a bunch of health. That when she resurrects, she'll have as much health left as that egg has. So as they're waiting for the waves here,
She does the chicken dance as her dance. I
True.
never knew that. This is brilliant. What a great night of discovery and friendship. Alright, here we go. Emote's coming out as they... Oh, they're trying to didn't quite get the word there. He knows we're supports, and we always have to go after the wards. I'm just kidding. That's just some mind. I mean, that would actually work for me. Alright. Gentleman's agreement, playing it safe, trying to get all the CS. Oh, okay, we'll let it die. Maybe that could be planned. Calculated.
And illogical going for the earlier push here. Just right now trying to get a CS. He does have the level 2 and he has that advantage. Looking forward, maybe trying to look for a route.
Kind of a really sweet sound getting that CS, then Nico just playing the CS. Nice sound. Level 2 from the Nivea coming out. He feels more.
Oh, there's the root.
Oh, that's really nice. I was gonna say he feels safer CSing under turret, and then the root comes out and just boom.
So actually, CSing under turret, if the champion is long range enough, is one of the most dangerous times to CS.
Yeah.
You can see in that position, he's locking himself against that wall. And it's much more predictable which CS they're going to be going for because the turret is targeting it. Exactly. Yeah. And
it feels safer, but it may not be safe.
There also are not minions that the enemy champion has to be going for because they've already pushed their wave. So all that adds up to it actually being quite dangerous. And you can see, we talked about Nico being a burst champion. When she hits that E, she took away like 60% of his health bar with one combo. So definitely the type of thing that even though an actual bird has the more defensive setup, he needs to be really careful.
Yep. Then they're landing that stun again. Tons of damage coming out. This might be it. Oh, yep, and this is that egg we were talking about. So Nico Glad got out the passive. He will resurrect with that health, but now that is the passive gone.
And that passive is a 4-minute cooldown, so he has a long time to be going for that. But with how long these matches are, you can see how much that can affect it, right? Where the Anivia has that 4-minute cooldown that essentially says you can't kill me unless you have a major burst after you already do your burst combo. So it's going to be hard for Nico with the passive up. She needs to use those next 4 minutes wisely.
And now we have blue side pushing in to turret. Of course, logical top lane, very comfortable with the 1v1 and CSing land. You know, on the team, we would always just kind of say that he would always playing up there and just dominate in the top lane. Most of the times, he ended up getting first blood. So, and yes, he is.
Discrepancy here, yep, 11 up.
Yep.
And with the Anivia, with the setup, she has that might be the kind of thing as this match develops where he just goes for that win condition, right? He says, okay, maybe I can't burst her down through the barrier, through the egg, through all the tools Anivia has, but if I just keep on CSing well, I keep on pushing her in, I keep the pressure up, then that is a way to win this match.
Yep. Long range of Nico being able to poke under turret, you know, like you said, and not having to And then the turret, you know, taking away. So Anivia has to choose. Okay, do I get chunked out or do I CS? And at this point, you know, so it's a scary position to be in. You're between a wall and a scary Nico place. And I know the feels. I don't like CS. Also, there is a thing to it for support mains. I mean, if you spend most of your time on a champion that it feels bad to CS on because that's not what you itemize to do, it's very different, you know, than if you play in a lane where you regularly CS.
Oh yeah, it's a big skill in and of itself.
Yeah, and so, and like wave management solo is very different than wave management, you know, in the bot lane when there's a 2v2. So, I mean, wave management is wave management, but you know, there's different factors that you take into account when there's 2 of you in the bot lane. I mean, even just sometimes where you stand when you're backing or how you walk, and then what the minions have to do to go around, like those little details can play into if you get a push, or if you get the freeze you want, or if it goes into turret.
And all that feeds into back timings and when minions are lost to what, and it's all quite important. And we do see the ultimate now available and the tier available from the Anivia, so going to be much easier to get those CS and sustain through the mana. We do have about a double CS lead up for the Nico right now, a little bit less after that wave was pushed in, but still a solid 18 advantage. And it might shift at level 6, right? Now that we have that tool available, maybe an actual bird will be able to get a lot more of the CS, push in, and have a lot more pressure.
Ooh, getting that stun there again. Fair amount of damage. And that is still down, but whew!
Oh man, that poke's gonna be rough.
Ouchies. Popping the potion. Yeah, ignite still and play. Right.
And they did change tier, that's worth noting for the people that haven't played since the patch. It's significantly less mana at first, and it stacks up differently. So it is now a starting item, actually. So you can see that an actual bird is running out of mana a little bit more quickly than an Anivia might be used to. And I'm not sure that he's played her since the patch. So that might be a gameplay dynamic that he'll need to adapt to mid-match, kind of figuring out when can I back, when can I push, what I need to do.
Ooh, stun landing for Nivea, but this is only all coming out. Ooh, flashing out that.
Yeah, good flash from an actual
that would have
bird.
killed him.
I do think he does have his egg passive back up at this point.
Okay. Ooh, getting that root and then the egg.
And there it is.
And so it'll be down for 4 minutes. Taking the turret shot. Nico getting pretty low. Probably gonna get this. Oh, not even gonna stay for the plate. Just probably going to get the wave where he wants. If he's fine with it, then he'll just back. Oh, Anivia's staying.
Yeah, Anivia back
he
up.
try to stop his back?
I think probably just gonna push it in with where his mana's at.
Oh, okay, yeah, and then popping the potion, staying here.
Yeah, so you can see his ult ran out so quickly because he's just out of mana at this point, and gonna be hard to really contest anything on the Nico without any of that mana, but pretty low on mana from the Nico as well, so have to see what they want to do, who they want to kind of see the lane control to, and an actual bird just saying, hey, I really need to get back and have my next purchase.
I think so nice for the cha-ching of getting that gold.
It's definitely one of those sounds that every League of Legends player has gotten used to loving. You know,
Yes.
if you're ever one of those champions that can instantly clear an entire large wave and you just hear it all popping up at the same time, it's
There's always another
definitely
wave.
not a Nami type of
Not
thing.
Nami.
No.
Oh, I should tell the viewers I think it'd be fun if like you came out with you took like all the different sayings that some of the champions had, and then you said them like in different tones. So I was like a passive aggressive Nami, and there's always another wave or something. I think it'd be funny, you know. So
Especially if you're
famous YouTubers out there watching our Hilliard Esports Twitch, and you want to do that. Yeah, that's great to see.
If your ADC ever gets tilted after missing a cannon, you can just say, "There's always another
Always
wave."
another wave. Oh, nice getting the land, getting the root there.
Man, so devastating to get hit by that root. You can see how much damage it takes
Yeah.
every single time, and now with the egg down, he really needs to be careful.
Yeah, I do feel like Nico's just now on this wave thinking, you know what, I can just win via CS if I want. I just like got that vibe, that thought. We'll see if it's true or not, you know, no matter what happens here. But
I mean, it is almost a 30 advantage at this point,
Yeah.
so definitely something he can leverage, you know, gonna be hard to catch up.
going flash in, so
my
that's not the all
goodness!
in. So maybe not. Maybe he's like, you know what? Previous thought that I had, again, we don't know if he actually had it or not. He's like, I want the kill.
Hey, he faked you out, he faked an actual bird out. This is beautiful the way he flashes in. He doesn't even need to hit the root for this. Look at this.
Nope.
So much damage. He has his ignite, he has his
And he even
Q.
gets stunned. And it doesn't matter, because he
It
like
doesn't matter. All he needed was 2 abilities. He knew that he knew he had that damage with how much he had done before. A beautiful job by Illogical.
Yes, 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 yes.
And now we're also going to see him pushing in that wave into the turret. We're probably going to come back after the replay on a state where he's already pushed it in. Just replay one more time here as he gets that first blood. But as we're coming back, look at this massive wave that he's pushed in. He's getting the plates. He's denying all that CS. It's going to make it very, very difficult for an actual bird contest. So now we can see he's finally backing with his gold, and I'm guessing he'll have his mythic at this point. Oh, good stop on the back though. That does delay him.
You gotta be respectful of where you back, especially in a 1v1.
Yep. And the back timings are very important, right? Because it does allow an actual bird to catch up a little bit here, pushing the wave very quickly as Anivia does, and probably get a full play, I would guess. And if we could just take a look at the item completion here. Yep, the Night Harvester has come out, so pretty much an AP assassin item that he's going for on that Nico, just saying, I am going for the kills. Certainly can still win.
That's boring.
Yeah, can still win on that CS condition. You know, even the burst can help you pressure for the CS, but if he hits that root now, you're going to see that damage be absolutely crazy. So might even be able to one-shot him if he gets the right combo off with his ult. Nice little tricky play there with the W. So as spectator, we can see both of them, but he is actually invisible when he's going in with that for a brief moment, and then he can send the other one to a different location, making them think it's the real Nico. Oh, here it is.
He's trapped in it, the egg comes out, and he's gonna keep hitting that egg. But man, it does not take a lot of damage quickly, but resurrecting, and then it took it all at once, and this could be it. Oh, then sunlight out! Here's the second kill! Whee, brutal. Alright, let's pull him on in. For time's sake, I say we just kind of head into the next one, even though this replay would be juicy because it was a juicy kill. An egg full of juice, a chicken wing that was just great job goes to Nico Logical getting that kill. We'll pop him on down, and we will get our next one started. Well done, man. Congrats.
Yeah, thanks.
Okay, now was there a point when you were CSing under turret where you're like, okay, I could just win with CS, but I really want the kills?
You know, I think if it went on, I probably could have won by CS, but I think I figured like kills would happen before it got to that point.
Okay, cool. There was just like a moment when you were CSing where I was like, man, I feel like he's saying, you know, I really could win with CS.
Yeah, I saw pretty early that I had a lead.
Yeah. But no, that was really well done, especially that second kill. You know, very satisfying getting the ult in there. But that first one, you know, flashing in and then just with, you know, a couple damage attacks.
Nico is pretty strong, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you took away like 60% of her health literally whenever you hit a root.
Yeah.
So
She's pretty strong. She's pretty strong.
So what any thoughts that you had? Did you know you were gonna play Nico going into this, or
I was really thinking about playing Xerath for a second.
Oh, okay.
I knew right off the bat I wasn't gonna play Darius, just because he didn't ban Darius, and that was kind of sketchy. But I was actually talking to him in Champ Select. I was like, do I play this? No, I'm all in, and I chose Nika. And I chose my runes last second too. I wasn't sure what to go. So yeah.
Nice. Well, it was really, really nice. Again, going in with, you know, taking over via CS, but then just going on the all-ins.
Yep, and
you find-
great job for the audience that doesn't know. Hiriato did have to dip out of the tournament, so Gorf is going to automatically move on to that next match against Illogical after we go down to the redemption bracket for the next
nice.
couple matches. So
Nice. And that's, you know, that happens, and that's cool. But yeah, that was a good game, and it was well played, well thought out on both of you guys. Hats off to an actual bird playing an actual bird. Yeah, and we'll see what you have next. Kind of what's up your sleeve. We won't make you tell it yet. So.
all right, man. GG.
Yep. Good job. All right. Now, so this is the first one of the redemption bracket, right?
Yep, this is the first match in the redemption bracket. So Hansifer was occupied earlier during that very first match that he would have had with Illogical. He is here for this redemption bracket match. So we see the bands coming out here. He's going to be facing off against Dumbfish, who had that very first match that we had today when he was playing the Zed. Yeah, that was definitely a really spicy one. I still think that first blood in that match was one of the craziest moments of the tournament so far. So good to see that here. We have the Malphite, Alawi, Akali, Fiora, Lux, and Kennen bands.
Ooh,
and ready checks coming out.
Here we go.
We're gonna start it up.
So we're now into this redemption bracket, and then trying to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. So yeah, and so we're getting, once we're done with this, we'll be about halfway through or so the tournament-ish. No worries.
Oh, and we do have the Ivern that looks like he's coming out from Hansifer. So this is something that he teased when he was talking about participating in this tournament. He said, well, if there's not a CS win condition, I don't know if I can participate because I can't choose Ivern. So I don't know if that's any foreshadowing to what we're going to see here. He may just be going for that 150 CS with the Ivern, but very strangely, and I still haven't really figured out exactly why, Ivern in the middle lane actually had an insane win rate after the new patch came out. So he is, for those who don't know, typically a jungler who likes to, unlike all other jungle champions, make friends with the creatures, and they just give him gold for the friendship. So you know, Cam Hansifer is a jungler and a support player, so a little bit of a disadvantage in the general idea of going into a solo lane, but maybe that champion that he is used to playing, moving into a more powerful place in that role, could be a way for him to work his way in.
Yeah, and especially because he feels so, you know, attached to Ivern. He wants him to show up and win in this 1v1. I think we were playing a game with some Rioters, and one of the Rioters also played Ivern, and he gave Hansifer a shout out, like, hey, the only other Ivern player in NA or something like that. It was great. So, yeah, definitely one of Hansifer's beloved champs. And then versus the Aatrox.
Yep, we have the Aatrox coming out on the other side. Now that is a scary champion for a kill lane. So we might have competing goals here. The peaceful jungle creature versus the the terrifying demon with wings. So we'll have to see how that goes. But certainly something that can play out in a lot of different ways in the matchup, because the Ivern does have that route where he can kind of get away safely if the Aatrox all ins him, but he doesn't have a lot of mobility. So if he is caught up in the chains from the Aatrox, it can be easy for him to use his E, use his Q, get in there for big damage.
Like a true damage cover band.
What, yeah. Big damage?
Yeah, big damage.
I like it. I like it.
Yeah, true damage cover band. I mean, true damage is a good name. I like that. So.
Yep, I mean, we have some great band names from Riot so far overall. I think they have worked with the tools they had very well to make some good ones.
You could call them Orn. Boom. Working with tools.
Okay, so
Okay,
the
just ignore it. Okay, fine.
the other thing we need to keep in mind here is what happens when they get their ultimate abilities, right? The Aatrox getting a lot of lifesteal, a lot of movement speed, and the Ivern actually getting to pull out Daisy, who has CC. So it'll be interesting to see the way that interacts if the Ivern's able to play around that mobility well enough to play off of the CC from Daisy. And if he is really just trying to stay safe, that might be enough to kind of thwart the Aatrox's all in so he can keep working towards that CS.
All right. No worries. Loading in here. Like some loading. Okay, here we go. Odyssey Aatrox, pretty cool. And then Cam just going for the good old Ivern skin, saying he's a beautiful wood nymph. I don't need to bedazzle him.
So another thing that Hansifer has been very, very adamant about is that there are no good Ivern skins currently. There is another one. There is another one coming out soon that he's very excited about. But
Peter? Oh, we got a quick mute. Maybe there's a cat meowing or something. I don't know. But we'll be left in suspense on that. Let's see.
I actually didn't hear what you said. You cut out for a bit when.
Oh, I said what skin's coming out for Ivern.
I believe it's Elderwood.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool, and that is very
Yeah.
appropriate because
Yeah, it's a good one. I've seen the splash and I've seen the in game, and it looks very good. So, props to all the Ivern mains out there who might be happier than they are with that one as opposed to Dunkmaster. But if you love the
Yeah.
Dunkmaster, that's your own flavor. No
Oh
shame.
yeah, and then hey, he can join that sports team we're making with Oriana and Ari.
Exactly, and I believe that's the Odyssey for the Aatrox coming out.
Yeah.
Very cool skin that got released relatively recently. So we do want to also comment that we're seeing Dark Harvest, Ignite, and Exhaust from the Ivern.
Oh.
So this is not a CSing Ivern at all. Maybe Hansifer was just baiting us all in with that and saying that actually I am going to exhaust you, ignite you, and I'm going to get the Dark Harvest.
Doesn't even want the flash.
Or the burst. He went for the
Wow.
Burns ring. Yeah, he's going for it. So I will be very interested to see how this plays out.
Yes. Ivern is just such a weird champion. Oh, you see a little dance battle in mid lane. Ah, they're the first to do it. I'm so glad they are. Like, meet me in mid, dance battle. Like, this is what it's about.
And look at the moves there.
Yeah, I will say actually Ivern wins the dance battle for sure. Speaking of dance battles, if you haven't checked out the More Dance video, they came up with like a choreography one that breaks it down. It's pretty cool. So I've learned it. If you like to dance, you should learn it too. It's a good time. Even if you don't, I mean, if you like to dance, it's good. Okay, and they're not going for gentleman agreement at all. Straight on into it. They say we'll dance together, but we will also poke each other out while we CS.
Yeah, important to mention here, they did actually change all of Ivern's auto attacks to ranged. Quite a few patches ago, it's been a while, but that is something that in this matchup can be very important. Even though Aatrox does have a good amount of range with his Qs, the auto attack from Ivern will be good harass throughout the matchup if he's able to contest some of the waves. So you can just see trying to work his way around these minions, do the best he can, and dodging the Q. And oh, we might have an all-in already.
Oh my gosh, she is so close to death.
Man,
popping the potion, staying alive. I mean, not having that flash.
We talk about the importance of summoner spells there. He did take the exhaust. I don't know if that was just to try and run him down if he was going to be slowed, but in that case, the ignite certainly would have
done it. Yeah. Ooh, taking a turret shot, evening up a little bit. But still, that is a dangerous health chunk for the Ivern. Whew, and yeah, an ignite would have taken it away. And that would have already been first blood. Wow.
All right, so just being very cautious here now. The Ivern has to wait for his opportunities to get these CS, even because of the threat of the Aatrox.
Ooh, and he's hopping in a little bit. Gets the shield off though. Flashing
Oh, the
in,
flash.
and put the
Ignite,
turret,
though?
and the ignite.
Oh!
So talking about the summon spell, right? So he
Talking
flashes
about the
in,
summoner
and
spells
then
indeed.
under turret, but then he had the ignite, so he has that ignite and exhaust, and he's able to get that first blood. I mean, you did not expect that, and you know, Aatrox definitely didn't expect that, but well played from Monster holding his own. I mean, the turret gets like assist award of the knight.
Yeah, just a little bit over aggressive there from the flash. I think that was the big thing, right? You saw him go under that turret. You saw
Yep.
the turret help out with that kill, and the ignite very, very timely by Onslaught to get it off in time for it to take him down.
Wow, and it has to feel bad for Dumbfish right now because he had control of that, beginning lane, like completely, and he almost killed him. But then just, a little over aggressive, and just that early turret damage was huge, and first blood goes over to Ivern. So now he has the gold lead.
He has the gold lead. He also still didn't use exhaust.
Exhaust, yeah.
Fight.
So he still has that, and both summoners are down.
But a huge CS advantage to the Aatrox, so we can't.
That's quite true.
Yep, we can't discount that. We are actually seeing that the gold is only very slightly in the Ivern's favor from that first blood. And not able to read the levels with the pixelation, but we'll see if the all-in takes hold again. Man, huge damage coming out from the Aatrox.
A little bit more safely after what happened last time. But yeah, I mean, this is not over.
And you can see him bait out a little bit too because he does have the exhaust.
He's
What
not
he's doing
coming
right
out.
now.
Is he going in for the all-in, or is he just trying to see? No, this might be the kill. Yep. So Aatrox finishing him off this time, tying it up for the kill. Whew. Okay,
Yeah,
and that I think was maybe a little bit overconfident.
A little bit overconfidence. He was really counting on that exhaust there. That's what he was thinking, I'm pretty sure. But you have to keep in mind that Aatrox has the Conqueror and he's just a skirmish champion. He is the type of champion that says, I want to stand, I want to fight, I'm going to be able to all-in you here.
To quote Ponsifer, Skirr!
Exactly, skirmish.
Skirmish champion.
But, again, now we're going to see a large CS lead and the kills evened up. It's going to be difficult.
All right. Yeah, especially with you look at this difference in CS, and it's more than double in the favor of Dumbfish, and that's gonna start really feeling bad. If you're playing against that.
And look, we see the lethality coming out from the Aatrox, so lots and lots of damage on his end. It's going to be very difficult for the Ivern to survive the burst. It was already hard, but now he has to be very, very careful about the way he positions. He does have the boots, so able to maybe walk a little bit more carefully around the cooldowns of the Aatrox.
This is just really scary. That, I mean, such a wide range.
Oh. Not quite all in yet.
Just skirmishing. But he wants it, man. You can tell they both want it. It's like, I do not want to win VSCS. I want the 2 kills.
Oh, this might be it.
Yeah, I was gonna say, getting pretty dangerous close there, but landed.
Nice root.
And popping the potion because he knows the damage that Aatrox does, so Aatrox masters it. Nope. Here we go, this could be it. Be able to get out of that. Oh, Zop's coming out now, though. Let's see, Daisy's here! Hi, Daisy!
Okay.
Ooh, okay.
Oh,
And
the ult
will he
though.
ignite him down?
Oh my goodness! That lethality damage just pops him. And you can see that the sweet spot on that Q from the Aatrox was enough to just completely burst him down, Daisy or not. What a play.
Wow. Wow.
First Q hits here, he comes in, he roots him so he has to run away, gets the exhaust for the slow. Even though Daisy comes out, look, the knockup's not here yet. And even as the knockup comes out, he says, okay, you're walking back in, you're overconfident. I have my ultimate, I have my Q, you're going down.
Yep. And that's
And
okay, very slow motion. Oh, okay. Wow.
Beautifully done, and we're gonna pull in Dumbfish here for the winner's interview.
Wow, good game.
All right, good game to
Nicely done.
Dumbfish here. I know we have him muted. He might have gone away after that match, so he might not know that he's in the channel right now. But
Rejoicing it, you know.
we can have a one-way winner's interview. It's you know, always a good time.
If
So,
that's not really good, don't say anything right now. If you expected the win, don't say anything.
if you're
Oh, and that is what that means. So since Hunsifer had to take the bye from the first one, this does mean that's his second loss, right, Peter?
that is correct, and it looks like the server was muting him. I don't know if now he's unmuted and we can hear him. Hey, there we go.
Welcome.
That was our techno bad because of the permission of the panel, but
that was good. That was a close one. What were you thinking? Did you expect to get first blooded?
Honestly, no. That Q, I was expecting to land that Q, that last Q.
Yeah, and I mean, you got him so low.
It was close.
Also before, so it was like, oh my gosh, tilt worthy. But then you came back and you pulled it out with two, you know, decisive kills. So, nice. Did you expect him to go Ivern?
No, it was a surprise.
And did you know going into it you wanted to go Aatrox?
No, I think I was looking to aim for Kennen, but he banned out my Kennen.
Yeah.
So I went Aatrox. It's just as a safe fallback.
Nice. And Kennen, yeah, Kennen's fun. He'd be a good ult and flash ult and kill. But nice. Peter, you got any more questions for him?
Nope, and I do believe that because Hiriato is out of the tournament, he's actually up for another match right after. So yeah, we should let him get back and
get in the
mindset.
Yep. Yeah.
All right.
But good job, good game, man.
Thank you.
Nice. Okay, and hats off to Hunsifer. That was some nice stuff, and it was good to see Ivern. I don't think we'll see him, you know, anyone else play him. So, and again, if we had that first match between him and Logical, who knows what could have happened. So, thanks for playing and being part of this, dude. Good stuff.
Absolutely.
All right, so now who do we got?
All right, I think we are going to have the Gort Fort against Dumbfish.
Okay, so yeah, he is right back into it.
Yep.
Nice. I like having these winner interviews, though. It's nice. I mean, hats off to both players, definitely, but it's kind of fun getting them right off their hype train, you know? So. Okay. So after this one, who will we have?
So after this one, let's see here, we will be having Caboflu versus Daddy Disney, moving back up to that winner's bracket. This will be the last one we play in this portion of the redemption bracket.
Nice. Okay, cool. Yeah, and they'll be heading back up, and that'll be the one that Bubble Puppy is coming in to help cast too, right?
Yep, we're going to have Bubble Puppy come in here for the one after this current one. So should be a good time getting him to help us out with that.
Yeah, so we'll give Dumbfish a little bit of time to reorient himself and, you know, clear the mindset.
By no fault of his own that he has to go straight into this one, since we, you know, there's always going to be stuff in life that comes up for people that can't make it for their matches. So just going to let him take a breather for a moment as we move on from that. And I wonder if we're going to see any changes in the ban strategy based on who they're facing.
singing a little Billy Joe for your all. Yeah, and I guess maybe I shouldn't have asked him if he wanted to play, because if someone hadn't scouted the Kennen ban, then maybe, who knows? But we'll see. We'll see what Goreport does. We'll see if his Ari gets banned out, because I mean that took Daddy Disney by surprise. Then I was very impressed. That took all of us. You know, we were all very into that. So again, 1v1 is also a completely different world. Like, I will be the first person to say that, like, 1v1 is not my world, but it's really fun to see them have fun with it. So all right, Dumbfish is in the channel. I like how they put themselves in the timeout channel. It's kind of funny. On our Discord, we have a timeout channel. If anyone, we need to throw them up there if they need to cool their head, if they're tilted, and we have like e-learning help and League of Legends and streaming. So and like singing and music, and they choose to be in the timeout channel. Gotta love it.
All right, so we have the first bans coming out here. So we do see the Alawi coming out both times against Dumbfish. He is a well-known
brutal
Alawi main, and we do see the Kennen coming out. So maybe a little bit of an interview advantage there, but
Pocket is waving at the audience.
Oh, and Kale coming out as one of just the OP top laners right now. So
fair.
this is a top lane v top lane matchup, I think. Maybe the first one of those that we've had thus far in the tournament. And the Garen's something that I know the Gorefort has practiced quite a bit, gotten quite good at.
I think that was one of his first champs he got comfortable with.
Yeah, it was his first big main, I would say, that he really grinded a lot on, put a lot of work into learning. So see where this goes and what they decide to pick. And you know, we do have to say that both matches that these guys had for the first ones were super close. So certainly appropriate for the redemption bracket, maybe a redemption arc. Them thinking, man, I almost had that in the first match. We really want to get it for that second one.
I would tell the players that if they wanted to like take a slow-mo video of them, you know, coming up to their computers or like, you know, hype or this, that, we could try to feature them. But then I'm like, okay, maybe not this year, but maybe next year. And then we can put it together for like an anime, you know, redemption arc, this, that. We can piece it together.
And it is pretty interesting that the Gorefort did not come out with that Aatrox ban. You know, something maybe he saw some weaknesses that he could deal with. Maybe he has a counter pick lined up. That is something that in progressive 1v1 tournaments we often see, where if they see somebody play something earlier on, they think, hey, I have a counter to this. I can actually play around their strategy. So we'll see what the Gorefort goes for. Again, I don't believe his Ari was banned, so might have that double run back from their respective first matches.
Trying to make a pun, the Gorefort go for, because
go for the
within Gorefort, yeah.
Something, I don't know.
Yeah, it's trying. Okay. We'll see. Again, sorry about the spectator delay. This is how we had to do it. I know it's adding time up, but we appreciate y'all for being here and tuning in.
Absolutely.
And our students and alums for taking part.
And the Volibear. Okay.
So I did not expect that.
This is something that he's been practicing quite a bit lately, and like I said, these are both top laners. And Volibear he is played often in the top lane. This is something that I actually, you know, I've been working on a bit with him in the past few days. It's something that he wanted to get better at. So good to see him with the confidence to pull it out in this matchup now that his previous main was banned. It'll be really interesting to see how the top lane plays out in the middle lane, since this is something you could often see if you were just looking at the top lane. And thinking about how that actually works, right? Aatrox is the type of champion that with his ultimate really wants to run you down. So having that shorter lane may be a little bit advantageous. And also for the 1v1s with the Volibear ultimate, something to keep in mind is how he can dive the turrets, right? So a lot of these other champions we've seen, they've taken those turret shots and they've been very, very meaningful in the way that trade has played out or even the kills have played out. The Volibear can just turn off that turret for 3, 4, and 5 seconds, depending on his ultimate level. So it's the type of thing where maybe if it's 1-to-1 in the kill score and he knows he can get that dive off and get the kill before the other champion will be able to turn that turret back on, he can just trade and have an easy dive.
Yeah, we're still loading on in here.
And so I think that we have seen also from the players some interest in practicing for the 1v1 tournament. You know, I know a lot of them were excited when it was announced. So it is the type of thing where it can help your laning. It can help the way that you're actually thinking about it. You know, this is very different than the more classic competitive style of League of Legends that we would see, but you are going to be in lane no matter what lane you're going to. Even if you are the jungler, you're going to be in some lane dynamics. So getting some practice in these trading matchups can give you a better understanding of the game as a whole. So something these players are certainly looking at learning from. And
Absolutely. And again, lane state too. And
exactly.
just,
So if you're, you know, seeing what happens as it bounces back and forth, even as a jungler, you're seeing like, oh, hey, maybe that's how I can gank. If there was a jungler in this match, it would be really meaningful, right? But either way, you know, when you have these classic matchups where you might actually see a Volibear in this lane, you might actually see an Aatrox in this lane, you're thinking about like, okay, I know this matchup, but again, how can I adapt? How can I take what I know from this classic top lane matchup and take it into the shorter middle lane?
all right, be loading on in here to where the real battle comes. Battle of the skins. Nice. And Volibear's like, I don't need a skin. I am a unit of bear.
I am a demigod. I am a bear and I go rar.
Is he a demigod?
He is a demigod.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. He's kind of a big deal.
He's a big bear.
He is a big old bear.
Big old bear. And you run
And
fast.
we'd have the Odyssey Aatrox coming out again. Definitely
Yeah.
a great skin.
They would have
and-
worked well for him last match, you know?
True. And seeing the Press the Attack come out from the Volibear versus the Conqueror from the Aatrox, both very classic rune choices there. Ignite from both sides this time. So ditching the exhaust on the side of Dumbfish, saying that, you know, we are battling to the death. I know that I could have gotten that kill with the Ignite last time. Let's just go for it. Resolve secondary from the Volibear, again going for a little bit more defense, versus Domination secondary for the Aatrox. Maybe going for a little bit of extra sustain with the Taste of Blood, the Ravenous, or potentially going for a little bit of extra damage with Cheap Shot.
Taste of Blood, that's such a bleh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not as gruesome in game as it is in sound.
Yeah.
Just kind of some extra stats.
I mean, if you think about it, like, it doesn't have to be a gruesome thing. Like, if you bite your lip, you have like a little taste of blood. It's not that big of a deal.
It's true. Not gonna actually heal you like
Go
it does in game,
vampire
though.
on somebody. Yeah.
True.
All right, here we go. We load in. Say hello to the little Poro. Hi, little Poro. Cute little Poro.
All right. Moving out onto the Rift, we'll see if they are up for the dance battle. The meta has been set. The dance battle has been proven to be the way to go.
I would be totally fine with that. Throwing that out there to any of our players listening. Totally do the dance battle in mid lane.
There it is.
They know.
They know.
I'm thinking Volibear wins this
Volibear
one.
showing off his levitation skills, it seems.
Yeah,
Didn't even need to touch
like a little Irish bear.
Yeah, didn't even need to touch the ground. Incredible. Oh, Aatrox though showing off his wings, saying I don't have my ult yet, but at least I can stand here with my wings spread wide.
Autobots roll out. You're a Decepticon.
He looks like a Decepticon to me.
He looks like a Decepticon, yeah.
Minions have spawned.
Yeah, definitely a Decepticon.
Yeah, definitely Decepticon. Which I think the Decepticons have the way better go of it, because they don't have to just be an automobile. They can be anything. So, like...
I mean, there are
seems
so
okay.
many different versions of Transformers anyways. You know, like you have the classic ones from the movies where you have the automobiles, but, you know, you can go to Beast Wars where maybe Volibear is a Transformer, and it's just a Beast Wars
Ooh.
version of it, you know?
Wow. Peter, you're just, like, geeked out a little bit. Very cute, though. I like it. Alright. Okay, we're in it. Gentleman's agreement. Going for the CS.
Oh, the E coming out though. Oh, dodged out by the Aatrox. Good job on that. The Q misses. Second Q lands. And third Q lands. Oh,
ouchie,
good
ouchie.
poke.
Ooh, poke, poke, poke! He pokes the bear! Oh my god, he poked the bear! Oh my goodness. That was funny. That's funny. That's a phrase. I don't know if
Yeah.
that
I think it's usually
poke a sleeping
it's
bear.
usually don't poke the sleeping bear. But
Yeah, you don't want to poke the sleeping bear, but he's poking the bear.
true.
Oh,
See the
alright.
passive stacked up on the Volibear now and the level 2 coming out, so maybe a little bit of trade back. The Volley does have some extra sustain if he gets that second Q off on the same target. But these Qs coming out from the Aatrox just brutal.
Yeah, I was gonna say just that Aatrox is a scary champ.
You can see the sustain on the passive from the Aatrox coming out too, and oh my goodness, again and again, just being able to land these long-range Qs. It's a hard matchup for the Volibear to really push into. You kind of have to either commit and really go in fully for the trade when the Aatrox doesn't have his Qs, or you just need to seed that range because the Aatrox has so much longer of a range with this Q. The only thing you can do on the Volibear is calling down the E. Yeah, just
Now he
oh.
wants it and saying, "This is my lane, bear. So don't hibernate here." Again, fancy feet dodging out. See, that's pretty even.
Yeah, we'll see how much of this he can collect under turret.
Okay. That's a whole other skill in and of itself. CSing under turret.
Very true, very true.
Hashtag yeah, I'm support life. Hashtag my ADC does not like that hashtag. Alright, here we go. Still kind of doing the gentleman's agreement, but getting in the poke when he can. Let's see, this looks like if he goes all in. Oh my gosh, he's on the nice boxing ignite! He's gonna get that first blood. Boom! And he gets it.
Man,
and
what a
here-
kill. And look at the way this happens. The Qs are already landed. He has the third Q in the center there, and he actually flashes past the
over.
bear so that he
And
can
then
get
late
the...
flash. Yep.
Right, so he flashed over there so he could get past the minion for his W. A great play from Dumbfish to secure that first blood.
Yeah, and he's, you know, trying to get some damage on his turret, not quite going to get a turret plate. But some good work done and got that CS lead. Of course, Volibear is going to be coming back to lane and pick up some more CS. And he's going to go back and spend up his money.
Yeah, Volley able to get the boots and the longsword, so just a little bit of movement speed to maybe be able to dodge out of some of those Qs, a little bit of extra damage. We'll see what the Aatrox decides to pick up. And he is again going for that serrated dirk, going for the lethality, saying, I am here to slay the bear. I am willing to poke the bear, I am not afraid.
Not a butcher, I'm a baker. That doesn't really fit this quote. That quote doesn't fit, but it's a good quote.
True.
I was going to say there was an Into the Woods quote, when you said something about charm, we were talking about Ari and it was charm, and there's a fun Into the Woods quote, like, from Prince Charming, I was raised to be charming, not sincere, and that's just a great quote. Alright, anyway, back to the action. Straight into it, okay.
Yeah, Volley just pushing in the wave, a little bit scared after that first blood, I think.
And I don't blame him, I'd be scared too if I was taking an Aatrox. And especially one who
Oh, he's
keeps
going in?
landing his abilities, and it's all in.
Oh,
Dead.
no!
He pulls back in! Oh my gosh, it's way over. Could be it. The damage coming back, and that is it. He poked the sleeping bear hard enough to kill him twice. And back-to-back wins on the Aatrox for Dumbfish. Nicely done. If I was playing him next, I would probably ban Aatrox. Or
Man.
unless you have some kind of counter pick, because it's just brutal. He lands those Qs.
He pops the ultimate, he knows he has the damage here, and beautifully done from Dumbfish. We're going to pull him in for that second winner's interview in a
pull
row.
him back. Nicely done, man. You, boom, second win on Aatrox. Like, nice. What were you thinking in this one?
Well, I knew that he didn't have as much gold aside, so I knew that that item lead was
Mhm.
was pretty strong over him, and I just was planning on that last engagement just to poke him out a bit, get him away from the farm, and then he turned, and I just saw an opportunity to go and finish it off.
Well,
Yeah, it was
fantastic
very
job.
clean. Yeah.
You know, and great job from the Gortfort as well. As we had said, you know, we're so happy to have everyone participating in this tournament. Everyone's doing fantastically. We have had a lot of close moments throughout. So
Yeah, I am very glad I'm not playing in it because y'all are doing a very nice job in the 1v1. And it's fun seeing like the different champions and the different methods and
Strategies.
styles. Yeah, and, like what you kind of go for and when you go in and when you decide to CS. So yeah, that was very clean, clean win on that Aatrox. And so now, when will Dumbfish play next for us?
So I believe he will be playing a few games from now. So we're gonna have.
So we'll actually let him take a break.
Yep, he's going to take a little break here. We're going to be switching back up to that winner's bracket for the next couple, one more in the redemption bracket after that, and then he will be right back at it. So great job again, Dumbfish, and we'll be seeing you soon.
Yep. Nice. That was awesome. And again, yeah, like you said, good job to the Gortfort on that. Just great stuff all around. We're back into winner's bracket to do the Kabothu versus that Disney, yeah?
Yep, and going to pull in Bubble Puppy as well here.
Get him in here. All right. Bubble Puppy, you and Peter are going to cast this one. So have fun and good luck. And yeah, I'm going to mute.
So am I doing your job?
Yeah, so you'll shoutcast it. We're still streaming right now, which is
Oh, I'm shoutcasting? Okay.
Yeah, it's fine if our viewers see this part of it behind the scenes. So yeah, you'll shoutcast, but you can also, just talk with Peter about game state and bans and picks and all that kind of stuff. Of course, skins, very important. But then when there is the action, you can shout about it. And
All right, seeing the bands come out here, we have Set, Oriana, Kindred, Akali, Lissandra, and Gragas. What do you think in seeing this?
Not really big surprise. We know that Daddy Disney's been playing a lot of Oriana. The Akali is a classic pick for him, and the Elo terror of Gragas. And then on the side of Kippo Flu, you see the Set ban. So not really anything unexpected, but I'm kind of interested to see what both sides pick here.
Yeah, the Set, something he's played a lot. The Kindred as well, one of his classic champions. And the Lissandra, something I've seen him pull out quite a bit in the middle lane when he does go from jungle to that lane. So that'll be good to see. And given these players' play styles, what do you think it's going to look like here?
In the first match with Daddy Disney, he played a more aggressive style into the Ahri, so maybe he might be thinking on a Cassiopeia. He might be playing more of a poke CS kind of matchup here, and not really trying to all in until he has that opportunity. And if we see that Pantheon locked in, the kind of all in playstyle, so two different strategies going in, and it'll be interesting to see which one will take the cake.
Yeah, the Casio is something that scales really well throughout the game, but isn't known for its early game pressure. So it does have relatively easy CS with that E ability, getting the mana back if you last hit with it. So something that he'll be able to work with quite well there. And like you said, the Pantheon, it's really going to be focused on trying to all in him whenever he sees the opportunity. We'll see also if the W can be used by the
Yeah.
Casio preemptively
And
to prevent that.
even going for quick and long trades, I think we'll go to Pantheon because he can kind of jump in and get the quick WQ and then back off with the E, kind of mitigating all of Cassiopeia's damage. If he wants to go for a quick trade, or maybe he might go for a more all-in trade, especially with his R, you can kind of back out of vision and jump in unexpectedly.
Yeah, it'll kind of depend on how it plays out, right? If it lasts too long after the E's down and he doesn't have his ultimate up for that initial burst, then the Casio will probably be able to trade back. It'll also depend on their choices of runes. I know that sometimes the Casio does go that Conqueror, and the something that the Pantheon could go as well, or he could go for the press the attack, the electrocute. It kind of depends on the playstyle he wants. And so, with the Pantheon's ultimate being a little bit more mobility based, we are going to have to see him work with the surprise factor, right? Because with the other ultimates that we've seen a lot so far, they give you some kind of instantaneous combat stat. Whereas with the Pantheon, it's not like you're going to sit there and ult in the middle of the fight. So I think that's going to be really interesting to look at, right? Like, is he going to be able to get the jump on Casio? Is she going to push in a little bit too far? Is he going to utilize back timings? Like, how's this actually going to play out? Because on the other side, the Casio can do a lot of damage with that ultimate. Like you were talking about earlier, the Pantheon's E is the big way that he's able to mitigate damage. And if he's stunned, then he's just going to be getting wailed on.
Yeah, so if Pantheon times it right, he can E in the middle of the stun and it will go through the stun. So he'll be stunned, but his E will be up, so Cassio can't do anything. So maybe Cass looking for an unexpected ult, try and get as much damage as he can before we get that E.
Basically trying to not let him buffer it so he can mitigate all that damage.
Yeah, but at the same time, Cassio's trying to maybe poke him down, try and bait out that E so that he can eventually all in him as well. I think if Pantheon plays aggressive, he will have the advantage. But if he plays back a little bit, it's going to be a little bit harder for him to win. But definitely a match that could go either way, depending on the playstyles from both players.
Do you think we'll see the Ignite coming out from both sides, or do you think the Cassio is going to go a little more defensive?
I don't think the possibility of heal on Cass is a possibility, but I don't think that Pantheon can't run anything else but Ignite.
Yeah, Pantheon for sure. I think he'll be going for that Ignite. It's just so synergistic with what he wants as a champion.
I don't think I've seen Quebaflow play Pantheon very much.
Yeah, it is something I have not seen him do as much. We do see the press the attack from the Pantheon and the Conqueror coming out from the Cassio and the Ignite on both sides. So certainly the Pantheon looking to kind of get in, get out, proc that press the attack, get the bonus damage. The Cassio in those extended fights going to be getting that extra damage and healing from the Conqueror.
Yeah, so definitely trying to look for go to quick trades. He does start the Q on Pantheon, so not going to be going for W start. Maybe try and poke down a little bit for getting. Might go for a cheeky level 2 or level 3 all in.
And the corrupting thought actually coming out from the
corrupting
Cassio.
part on Cass is I think it's the better play here.
Yeah.
Has a little bit more sustain and even getting that reset when you back.
A little more sustain, the reset when you back, you also get more poke down, right? And if you're able to stay out of that W range from the Pantheon, get the poke safely, then you can maybe whittle it to the point where an all-in champion can't all-in you. And that's one of those really, really difficult places you can put him in where basically he has to choose, do I lose minions or do I threaten myself by staying in lane too long? Got a nice dance coming out safely under the turret here. Cassio just chilling. And nice skins coming out from both sides. We have to get the shout out for the Spirit Blossom and the Dragon Slayer.
Eventually, they
Alrighty,
all
first
come
mini wave spawning.
crawling back.
I think level 1 we'll see kind of both a safe play, maybe a little bit of poke coming from each side, but nothing too crazy. Pantheon needs to be careful, especially in range to melee matchup, but not to walk up too far and get poked down by that Cassiopeia.
Yep, the level 1 to level 2 transition also really important depending on if the Pantheon wants to try and push for it and then get the W off. But without that E, it is going to be a lot harder to get a nice full combo down safely.
And we see the bone plating on Pantheon, so Cass needs to keep that in her mind when she tries to go all in. Proccing that bone plating before she uses her entire combo can mitigate a lot of damage if he has that up.
And
But
you're seeing right now exactly what you're talking about, how the Cass is able to kind of zone off of those minions. She is the first to hit level 2 because of that.
Both are playing this correctly, I think. I don't think Pantheon can do much before level 2 or 3. So just trying to stay as healthy as possible and try and get the Cassiopeia to push the minions under his tower so he can get a little bit safer farm.
Yep, and also good from the side of Daddy Disney to be slow pushing this. You don't want to shove it into him hard and let him collect those minions for free. You want to kind of just make him work for it as much as possible.
Yeah, make him walk up so it can be poked out of lane and then get maybe some free turret plating or maybe even a kill under tower if he gets poked down too far. Level advantage on Cass. I'm going to be hitting level 3 off this minion wave. Oh, it already hit level 3 on this minion wave, so Pantheon has the opportunity to go all in here if he wants, but that big minion wave makes it hard for Pantheon to jump in.
Yeah, I doubt he's going to do anything until that's cleared out. If he does then fail the all-in as well, regardless of the damage, it's going to lose him a lot of CS as they're dying to turret. So just trying to safely farm, saying I've been waiting for this the entire lane. We'll see how many he can hit. He doesn't decide to go in though.
Just proc to press the attack, just a little bit of damage going out.
And you can see how much damage that combo does do.
Yeah.
Worth noting though, he does miss a few minions for that. I don't know if we can get a minion count soon to see where they're both at. Oh,
and a quick, he can all in him right here with Ignite, and he's going for it. The E damage, very well played by the Pantheon, exactly what we expected, the kind of jump in and the quick burst damage from Pantheon with the W and the press the attack.
Yeah, beautiful job there. We'll see on the replay. He sees the threat instantaneously. He knows he already got the damage down. He W's in
no
here.
No hesitation.
Yeah, no hesitation at all. He knows that even with the W, he has the
empowered
ignite
E. The empowered E with the bonus damage at the end. Very well played by the Pantheon.
Yeah, beautiful job. And in a matchup where you have the all-in threat, getting that first blood is such a big advantage. You know, we're gonna really see kind of how the dynamic shifts. Now the Cassie has to be incredibly careful about when she pushes up again on that scaling champion.
Using flash there, not having that kind of kite potential with the flash to get some bonus damage, but does have the ignite, so we're probably not gonna see any quick all-ins from Pantheon until that ignite is back up, unless he gets some poke damage beforehand.
Yeah, the only thing I can think we would see would potentially be once Cassio has the ultimate, since Pantheon will be in lane, he won't have the ultimate combat damage that we were talking about before, since he's going to be more traveling with it. So maybe Cassio finds an opportunity with her ignite advantage with the ultimate in combat advantage to pull something off, but looking at their items here, you can see that the Pantheon really does have a big advantage.
Yes, just pushing the minions under the turret, maybe trying to get a couple plates, close that gold gap, but Pantheon doing a nice job of just trying to clear the way as much as possible and threaten that all in.
Well, you can see she's saying that I've been here before. She knows that even though those minions are under the turret, he was not afraid to go in, and it's with the item advantage going to be even stronger this time. And he does now have the Vamp Scepter, I believe. It was a little blurry, so it was hard for me to see, but I think that's the Vamp Scepter, yep, he has right there to help him sustain down the poke, even if she is able to land that. So very difficult position. She's going to need to kind of look at her window for when she can CS safely to try and get to that scaling point that does kind of get her in a stronger position against the earlier game champion of the Pantheon.
Pantheon might have the opportunity to go for a quick W trade here, just to get some damage down before the R's come up, so that the all-in is a little bit more risky for the Cassiopeia when she hits that 6. But just playing it safe. Cass doing a good job of letting him push it under her turret, so he can get some free CS and maybe control the wave from here. But just backing on the side of Pantheon, getting
Yeah,
air shred, little magic mantle to mitigate some of that damage from Cass.
Yeah, he can back safely, and the Null Magic Mantle, an excellent and very efficient item into someone like the Cassiopeia, especially when you're going to be looking for these all-ins. So oftentimes we think, hey, I want to all-in, I want to do more damage, but when you're thinking about how an all-in plays out, sometimes if you have as much burst as the Pantheon does, it's not, can I one-shot her? It's, you already know you can one-shot her, so you want to try and survive in case she is able to trade back on you. So I think a good decision there. And big wave pushing in. We'll see if Cassio is trying to shove this in quickly to then match the back.
And even on the side of Pantheon, that passive, that empowered abilities is really important. So trying to play around that is important from Cass. If she sees that he doesn't have that passive up, a lot of his damage is not on the table. But another back from Cass. Pick up a Lost Chapter, that's a big damage spike for her. And the CS advantage for Cassiopeia as well. Not really unexpected, the range melee matchup kind of difficult to maintain CS, but...
Yeah, and she does get that cloth armor as well, just trying to survive here.
Level 6 on both sides now, this is where we can see it really, if Pantheon wants to get really aggressive, his Ignite is also back up. Maybe want to go for it while her flash is down as well. If he wants to back out and but both players playing safe, not going for anything crazy right now. Pantheon zoning off the Cass, has that W up, very dangerous for the Cassiopeia to walk up.
Yeah, especially with the flash coming off the cooldown soon, we're really going to see a lot of threat, and man, another trade, big damage.
And he E's on the R. Exactly what I said, but he can go back in. Cassiopeia playing well around the Pantheon's cooldowns, but does use the Ignite. No sums used by Pantheon. Now might back and has the option to R back into lane very quickly here, so it's good on Pantheon to get that Ignite and get that R out without using anything important of his own.
Exactly. A big deal there, and leaving Cassio in a very difficult spot, right? It looked like she might have been able to run him down there if she had committed a little bit more strongly to it, but it's so hard to gauge exactly what's happening, and she is staying. This is really dangerous.
Here's the R coming up for Pantheon. The jump in, cancels the back from Cassiopeia. Flash jumping in. Big damage off of Pantheon, uses the E empowered. Did not ignite there, but flash still up for Cassiopeia, I believe.
Yeah, committing the flash there, a big cooldown from the Pantheon, now taking away a lot of his threat to be able to flash W from long range. So not landing the damage from that ultimate was a big deal towards that all-in not working. And he didn't use his Ignite, so he does still have that combo left, but she does go for another cloth armor, and that first cloth armor probably saving her from a lot of the damage that he could have done.
Pantheon using a lot of mana on that engage, so he's not going to be able to stick around long, just going to have to back to get that mana back.
The other thing we need to be watching for here, we do see the CS differential. So even though Pantheon did get that first blood, if the Cassio decides to play a little bit more defensively and just kind of weather the storm of Pantheon starting to not being able to all in her as easily, then maybe she just goes for the CS win condition, because her champion, there's all-in opportunities, but that's not what she's built for. Whereas the Pantheon, that's really his thing, right? He's going for the kills, so CS might be really, really important coming up here.
Cass having that flash might be the winning of the game. If Pantheon tries to jump in, can just flash away and just make the game run longer, so that she can get up to that 150 CS mark.
Yeah, CS definitely turning into a ticking time bomb, right? It's hard to make up 20 deficit, and yes, he has a few extra. He has a few extra pushing into him, but yeah, we're just passing that halfway mark for the win condition itself.
Especially Cassiopeia at that level 11 is a big probably more of a power spike than Pantheon, with Pantheon not scaling as hard as Cassiopeia. So I think the longer the game runs, the harder it's going to be for the Pantheon to, kill the Cassiopeia and win.
Absolutely.
Both players now just playing it slow. Waves reset to the middle, so I think Pantheon just needs to slow push this here. Doesn't want to push too hard because being under the cast turret is not where he wants to be.
He wants to make the lane as long and dangerous as possible right now.
Probably a quick trade coming out. Oh, and blocks the R with his E. So not as much damage coming out, but that sustained damage from the Cassiopeia. Flashing in, gets the poison. Does he live? He lives. I believe he in the middle of that fight, keeping him alive very close. That poison damage from the Cassiopeia did a lot of damage towards the end of that fight, even though he blocked the while he was stunned, he had his E up. That kind of prolonged conqueror did a lot of damage towards the end of that fight.
Yeah, and you can see how much more damage over time the Cassio really does have. After that initial burst comes out, the Pantheon's really out of cooldowns, whereas Cassio is basically an AP ADC, right? If she has the poison on, if she can keep throwing out those E's, she does so much damage, and I think she thought she had it there. I know I did with that poison.
I definitely did.
The potion, using potions early, do not forget, it can make a huge difference, and I think that's what saved the Pantheon there. But we did see Cassio able to then push in another wave, and this CS win condition is really becoming an issue. It's going to be hard for the Pantheon to match. He does have his Ignite still, so might see something there, but still a 20 advantage, and we are approaching those higher marks of CS.
Cassiopeia did use the flash though, so not going to have that kind of escape mark for the Pantheon all in,
But we do see the Seeker's Arm Guard coming out now, which is actually one of the more gold efficient items in the entire game when it's fully stacked. So
that armor and that extra sustain.
Yep, so it's going to be very hard for the Pantheon to all in through that, especially if he's not being very careful about how he's managing the waves. And actually the turret plating looking like it's falling here in a bit, so potentially another win condition.
The Cassiopeia. The game is on a big ticking time bomb for the Pantheon. I think his best win condition is dropping the R unexpectedly and getting the jump on Cassiopeia, but that burst damage with the Seeker's Arm Guard is not going to be as effective, especially as Cassiopeia hitting 11 very soon.
He really needs to be looking to freeze here, trying to force her in. Looks like he is going to be pushing some though.
He's trying to accumulate maybe. Cassiopeia needs to just not hit the minions, let him push it in, because he doesn't want to be sitting under the Pantheon turret. Makes it harder to farm, also makes it easier for Pantheon to all in. But
and I think we're gonna see the pressure grow and grow, right, as we get closer to this mark. It's still a 21-22 CS lead, so here's the all in.
Pantheon. Another good E from Pantheon. The sustained damage from Cassiopeia really making that trade more even than it should have been, but good. Oh, and the flash W coming out doesn't have the damage, ignites, but not gonna kill. Maybe can go for an empowered Q here.
Yeah, we did see the Cassio user ultimate in that trade, and the Q, trying for it, but he is gonna lessen the CS gap somewhat, and this is the type of thing you need to be thinking about at this point, right? If you're the Pantheon, I'm not just thinking all in, I'm also thinking how can I pressure enough to maybe...
Has the opportunity for the turret here with Demolish.
That's true.
And a very big minion wave. Might take it here.
Right, they're down, it's close. And now the Cassio really can't back again, even if he doesn't take it out, he's got it.
Here. He's gonna go for it. And the Pantheon picking up the turret, very unexpected. That kind of, even though he didn't kill the Cassiopeia, that trade was enough to get her out of lane so that he was able to take that turret. Very well played by the Pantheon, and a good match overall. Again, I get the Pantheon in here.
Yeah, trying to get him online now. He wasn't in the channel currently, and there we go.
Hello.
Very well played.
Yeah, what are you thinking after that match? That was pretty intense.
And my heart rate is like through the roof right now.
Was
My
the
entire
turret
plan.
was
So
the
once I
turret the
saw,
main plan?
yeah, so I brought demolish. Well, okay, so I brought demolish by accident, but once I saw that the turret plane has fallen, right, I started shoving in waves, and I wanted to trade so that way he had to back, and then I would just make up a huge wave and then crash under turret and take it. That was the entire plan there.
Yeah, I think that was a great pivot because it was really looking rough. We were talking so much about how the CS win condition was closing in. She had that lead for a lot of the game, and she's basically pressuring you like, hey, you have to all in, you have to do something, and did not see that turret play coming. So, great job. I think it really caught her off guard.
Yeah, I'm just sweating right now. Like, oh
But
my god,
the
anxiety.
next match will be the winner of Illogical or Gorf, so
Hmm.
look out for that match. But
Yeah,
yeah,
but
well, we definitely over here we did not see that turret play coming, but we were going for more of the kill, and the longer the game went, the more Cassiopeia would have won. So
Yeah,
definitely fit that win under the ticking time bomb of the game.
exactly,
there's
exactly.
also there's also a lot of backs between us and stuff. Like I had to back a lot because I was just taking unfavorable trades.
They also had that R to kind of get back to the lane, so
Yeah.
playing around that was pretty important as well. But
Yeah, it's almost like a
GG's.
mini teleport. Yep. All right. So we're gonna have Kebo Flu hop out here, and we are gonna move on to the next match. Great job to him. We'll be seeing him again in the matches soon.
Thank you.
All right, and the next matchup is going to be between Gorf and Logical. So Gorf was going to be having a matchup against Hiriato earlier. We did not have that match because Hiriato wasn't able to make it, so it's going to be our first time seeing him in the tournament here. We'll be, as long as he's okay with it, sticking with Bubble Puppy for this next cast. And
Absolutely, absolutely. I'm excited for this match.
Yeah,
I think
Bobo, you did a great job, by the way. Very nice custom.
thank
Proud
you.
of you, man. Good job.
For this next match, I think Gorfs has a very large. Both players have a very large champion pool, so we might see something come out that we're not expecting. Um, Darius coming out from Gorf, very smart. Illogical probably is his number one pick. Darius very good in a 1v1 as well. I expect to see the maybe a Zoe ban from Illogical or Yasuo ban. Two champions that Gorf really performs well on, has played a lot, so taking his time to think. Maybe look up that last second OPGG.
yeah, I think we might be having some technical difficulties. I just got a message here, so we're sorting that out.
Sermon, what were your thoughts on the last match? Oh, she might not be here.
Yeah, I think she's muted. She may not be here right now.
That was awkward.
Yeah, so definitely will be interesting to see what they decide to pull out, given how wide their champion pools are, like you're saying. Apologize for the delay, ladies and gentlemen.
We have not seen anybody play around the brushes on either side of the lane.
That is true. That is true.
I think that's a very kind of sneaky way to get some free damage off or free unexpected all in from the brush, especially even taking like TP or something and TPing behind them for an unexpected all in. Might be a play we see in the future, but all right. I think we're back at the bans. Yep, the Zoe ban coming out and a Nico ban from Gorf. Respecting that first match from Illogical. I think he played very well in the Nico, so just gonna take that out. from Gorf. Oh. Logical, taking out the Yasuo. The two bans I mentioned earlier. Two very strong champions in the new meta.
Indeed.
Especially Zoe with that, I believe it's Horizon Focus is
Yep, the
very
long range damage is crazy with that item.
Xerath taken away from Gorf, another champion we've seen Illogical play a lot. I would try and guess Illogical's pick, but his champion, I mean, pulling out that Nico, I've never seen him play Nico before, so he's got all 150 champions at his disposal right now, I believe. And Ezreal ban coming out from Illogical, just I think Ezreal, kind of a sneaky pick, can just kind of survive long enough to get that CS win condition. So, and a champion that Gorf has played very recently.
Right, so let's see what they decide to come out with here as they think.
Vladimir, probably Gorf's most comfortable champion, but probably not the champion he's going to pick. Very weak with the new items, and weak early in the game. So even though most played champion does not mean that that is their pick.
Absolutely, and
Seeing Gorf play something like the Ari or the Annie might come out.
or the Talon, another
Or
very high early
Talon, however.
pressure champion. Yep, something that
Yeah.
I know he's played a lot. And Illogical, also a very avid Pantheon player, and maybe seeing the last match and saying, "Hey, maybe I'll try."
Did seem kind of good in the early game, and Talon's strength in the normal Summoner's Rift game is pushing the waves and roaming, but with only one lane, that roam becomes
Oh,
non-existent. So
maybe a swap here.
maybe trying to switch out to the Diana, better 1v1 champ. Yep, and we see the lock-in for Gorf and the lock-in for Illogical. Diana, very strong 1v1 kind of all-in champion, just like Pantheon. So might see very similar styles. Kind of poke each other down and then maybe go for a all-in. I think Diana's ult a lot more effective than Pantheon's if used correctly. So I think in a straight up 1v1 with all cooldowns, Diana might have the advantage if she hits her full combo, but Pantheon's ability is very, very useful in the early levels of the game. So I think the early pressure goes to Pantheon, but once we hit 6, I think we see the advantage going to Diana.
Yep, definitely interesting to see how it plays out. Similar dynamic in some ways. Diana relies a lot on auto attacks for her damage, so extended trades could go in her favor. I would expect her to also go the Conqueror. I'm actually not sure what she goes after the new patch, if she still goes Conqueror, if she
I
would
see something
prefer
like
something else.
electrocute or
Yeah.
something with more burst, maybe.
Depends on what playstyle she's really going for. If she wants to match the burst combo and get out, or if she wants to extend out the trades.
Yeah, Conquer and electrocute, even phase rush, possibly on Diana. Probably not as useful into Pantheon, but is a possibility that we might see.
Yeah, if she wants to
And
run down.
Gorf has not played Diana very recently in normal games, so might be a little rusty on the champion, and Illogical also not playing for a while, so it might take a little bit to kind of warm up and figure it out here. So
Yeah, we might see the warm up in real time. I know that is both champions. They both played a lot in the past, so their hands just need to get back into it, remember what's up, and we've all been there.
I'm definitely not expecting this match to go to CS or turrets. I'm definitely expecting the 2 kills from both champions. So gonna be an exciting one. I think this one will be a close, pretty even matchup. I don't think one just necessarily wins. So maybe thinking about the possibility of another summoner on both champions, maybe something like an exhaust, just to kind of throw, or maybe a cleanse on the side of Diana, just taking away that stun. might be an option here, but